And up, New York Giant fans. Draft is, 3 days away, Baddog?
It's here, people. The draft. The draft is right around the corner. We've been waiting about probably 6 months because our season was over in October. So you probably waited about 6 months for this week to see what we're going to do. And I'm excited, man. I had a week off. I reached out to Chris and said, let's just do a show every day leading up to the draft. And obviously we'll talk about a lot of rumors, things that are going on. We plan on doing some mock drafts during these shows. So, looking forward to this for sure, man. I'm excited. We need to nail this draft.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, we've basically been waiting for the draft since Darius Slayton decided to drop that Daniel Jones pass against Washington. That's probably when we knew our season was over, and we definitely knew it was over after Jones went down with the injury. So I'm excited to see what the New York Giants do. We've heard a lot of rumors. I figured we'd start with the Toney thing. It doesn't sound like the Giants are going to trade Toney. Well, it sounds like the Giants are open to the possibility of trading him, but they're not going to just trade him to trade him. At least according to Jordan Renan today, he came out and said they would want pretty high draft capital. I didn't get a chance to watch your video, but of course, what prompted that, or at least what people assume prompted that was the fact that the guy's not showing up to voluntary camp. He's not a Joe Shane guy, so on and so forth. So what was your overall opinion on, I guess, Toney in terms of not showing up and the trade rumors and everything else?
Yeah, I actually swung in your live stream when you were talking with Patricia Traina there about that at the beginning. I was just kind of listening in the background. But for me, I mean, the Kadarius Toney thing is strange. And I think it's been strange since we drafted him. I talked about it in my video pretty much. I liked the move to go back to 20 and get the first round pick because we need the draft capital. So I did like that. But I thought it was a strange pick when we made it. And I said, you can go back and watch my reaction. I'm kind of like, huh? Because I thought we needed other positions. And I'm like, we passed up on Micah Parsons to get Kadarius Toney. You know what I mean? And then obviously we had a lot of there was a lot of other things that were going on. He had his grandmother passed away. He didn't go to voluntary camp. He had COVID. He had the cleat issue, and then he misses the first couple of games, or he didn't show up at all the first couple of games, didn't do anything. And then he has the big game against the Cowboys. He throws a punch against the Cowboys, and he deals with a lot of injuries. And I'm just like, it's been a very weird time with Kadarius Toney here, and he's shown flashes of those joystick moves, the quick twitch, and the explosiveness. And you're thinking to yourself, man, he has a lot of talent, but we haven't seen it. And the potential's there, but as I said, go try to pay your mortgage on potential. It's not going to happen. So
we've been talking about potential with Lorenzo Carter for years,
right? And the big thing is, like, what is his trade value? That was my thing. Like, what are we going to get for him? I don't want to trade him just to trade him, but if you can get a second round pick for him, and Shane don't like him, and Dable don't like him, and they say move on, I said regardless, if he's here, I'm behind it, and if they want to move him, I'm behind that too. Where I don't know what he wants to do, but if they want to come in and they don't like the guy, let these guys pick their team, let these guys pick their player, and let them put the best players that they think are going to help the Giants win. That was pretty much what I thought about it. But,
I'm in complete agreement. I'm in complete agreement with you. It's not like I'm saying that they need to trade the guy, but at the same time, when Joe Shane took the job, I said to myself, I'm not going to attach myself to any player because none of these players are guys that were brought in by Joe Shane. And if Joe Shane sees a reason why he wants to move off of Kadarius Toney, he didn't draft the guy, whether it be the fact that he doesn't think he fits in the long-term plans, whether it be whether it be due to his play on the field or the fact that he questions whether or not he's committed, whatever it may be, I would support it. But obviously, like you said, I don't want to give him away for nothing, which is what a lot of Giants fans would worry about. You're not going to get premium draft capital for a guy that had 400 yards receiving last year, missed half the season, was thought to be a second-round talent by a lot of teams around the league. I think you're probably looking at a third-round pick, and I think that's why a lot of Giants fans, when they saw the rumor, they shook their head. They said, well, you're better off keeping a guy with some potential, even if you want to trade him in the future and hope that he has a strong season. But we don't know everything, right? There may be things from behind the scenes, and, we'll find out shortly. But at least according to Renan, I don't think they're going to trade him because he basically said that, according to his sources, that they're going to have to get, premium draft capital to do it. And I don't think you're going to be able to retrieve that for Kadarius Toney at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Because we just don't know what he is. And you don't want to pay, you're not going to give up a ton of draft capital for potential. And again, I also mentioned like he's kind of been a headache. There's been a lot of this. Why is he not there? And I know it's voluntary, but my God, you missed most of the season last year. It's a new coaching staff. Don't you want to win? Don't you want to be there to try to help your team win and all this stuff? And I kind of mentioned, Odell Beckham also give us kind of headaches like this where nothing serious, like no legal issues, but he would these celebrations at a field goal net or, the fight with Josh Norman and all that stuff. But Beckham also gave you 150% of the field every week. Beckham wanted to win and Beckham produced on the field.
Mhm.
So, that's the one thing I'm saying.
It's apples and oranges. Odell Beckham was the best receiver in football for 3 years.
Exactly. But I'm saying like, that's what I mean. You could kind of put up with his antics because he was producing as opposed to Kadarius Toney hasn't produced anything yet. Yeah. So hopefully, I'll listen. Like I said, I'm not looking to get rid of him for nothing. He does have a lot of talent. We saw flashes of it. I would like him to have a chance, but I feel like if he took this seriously, he'd be there and he could get better. That's my biggest concern is how serious does he take football? He's obviously a rapper, and is football secondary to his rap career? Or is it the other way around?
And I think the other thing that's very concerning is he has a new coach this year. He has a new offensive scheme this year. Like you would think a guy that had a mediocre rookie season would be there. And I know it's labeled voluntary, but every player on the team is there outside of him for the most part, other than players that are dealing with injuries or Graham Gano, the kicker. And even Kenny Golladay called him out, not directly necessarily by name, but it was pretty obvious he was talking about Toney. So hopefully it's a wake-up call. That's what I'm hoping for. Like in an ideal world, I want Toney to still be here. I want him to bowl out. I want him to have a great second season because I see the potential, and I do think that Brian Dable and Kafka could get creative with him in this scheme, and he could have a really good rookie year. And hopefully that's all this is this is a wake-up call, and he gets his ass to camp, yes. and he grows up. That's what I'm hoping for, because exactly. I think he should be there. Again, we don't know all the specifics. Maybe there's something behind the scenes that is a legitimate reason why he's there, but if not, he should absolutely be there.
I completely agree. Let's get to a couple of these real quick. Tutto, grazie, paisano, grazie. Says, salute, Kevin, Chris, and drop by office to pay our proper respects. And as always, for all the Giants fans, slap the stinky boys losers out the dough. Tutto should be, we're going to draft him.
I see Tutto's got the Italian shirt on. I guess that's his uniform for rugby.
That's right. I'm trying to find his rugby stuff. I want to watch him just decapitate somebody. Get me fired up. Darius, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, I wanted to thank you all for unknowingly being my Italian uncles I watch sports with. Thank you, Darius. Appreciate
it, Darius.
Always got the Italians in the house. Always.
Looking forward to watching the draft with you, Darius. Hopefully we get who you want. Well, as long as you don't want who I don't want, but hopefully you agree with who we want.
Yes, indeed. My old Sith Bones. Thank you for the super chat. He says, hi guys from the UK. Loving stream times. Yeah, because it's like 4 PM over there.
So yeah, they love it in the UK.
They do, yes. So excited for the draft. Can't wait to see what we do for Big Blue. We are too.
Let's dive into that a little bit. We've kind of touched on throughout the offseason, with the couple of times that we've talked that we're all about the trenches. That's got to be the primary focus this offseason for the New York Giants. And the way I see it right now, I don't know which tackle it's going to be. I'm leaning it'll probably be Ekwonu in the top 4 picks, but I don't know which one it's definitively going to be. But I don't see more than one tackle going in the top 4. So I think the Giants are going to have their choice between 2 of the top 3 with that 5th overall selection. And I'm pretty sure outside of, I don't know, maybe them having a change of heart, but I really think they're going to tackle with that 5th pick, because unless they think they have like a near even grade between those 2 prospects, because they have to figure Carolina could very easily go tackle. That's probably their biggest need on that football team. So I'm pretty sure the Giants are going to go tackle. It's just a matter of which one it's going to be at 5. I
agree. I think best case scenario would be that 2 of those tackles fall to us at 5 and Thibodeau's still there, because then you're getting both. That's the best thing. I did a couple of mock drafts and I put them on Instagram, and I always love when people, you're not getting James Cook, you're not getting Tyler Linderbaum's not falling to 36. I said probably not, but they're mock drafts, guys. I mean, I'm just going by what the simulator says. Simulator puts Tyler Linderbaum at 36. I'm not going to go, oh, well, that's not really going to happen. So when I'm doing my mock draft, I'm just going to say the hell of it.
Listen, I'm not predicting him to fall to 36. You have seen him drop, though, in some of these mocks. And he plays the type of position where if 1 or 2 teams pass on him, he could fall, similar to
Yeah.
a guy like Xavier McKinney, right? Because not a lot of teams, even though it was pretty much a consensus that McKinney was a top 20 prospect in that year's draft, there was not a lot of teams that were looking to draft a safety in the first round.
Yep.
You could argue the same thing for Tyler Linderbaum. If there's one or two teams, maybe a team like the Steelers, they could probably use some interior.
Cincinnati definitely could.
But if one or two teams pass on him, I wouldn't be shocked if he fell to the second round.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think in the last one they did, I mean, it was a perfect scenario. Like the Jets offered a trade for 7, and the Jets gave us 10 and 38. So I'm like, of course I'm going to take that. And I ended up with Derek Stingley at 10 and Kenyon Green at 38. And it wasn't Tyler Linderbaum 30. I forgot. Beakway, I ended up at 36. I'm like, that's a pretty good draft. I'm like, I would love that to actually happen.
That's the guy from Penn State, right?
Yes.
He's a potential day 2 target. Yep.
So we'll see. Tutto, grazie again, Paisano. Grazie. He says, we don't have these type of volunteering BS. We're a team. We're a fam. La familia. He says, we always hang out, workplace, practice, battle together, support each other, practically 24/7. That's called a team. And you're right, Tutto. And I think he's talking about Kadarius Toney. And that's the thing. You want guys on your team that you want to go to war with. And again, I think that's the biggest concern with Kadarius Toney is how is he all in with the New York Giants?
Right.
Like Bill Parcells, I want guys that want to be Giants.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I mean, you need talent, don't get me wrong, but you also need guys that are dedicated to winning football games.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt. Kylie, thank you so much, my lady. Thank you for the super chats. As we are getting Giant talk with sun up on a weekday. It must be draft week. Let's go. Let's finally start building and win a team. That is correct. It is.
Glad to see you, Kylie. Thank you for popping in.
It is draft week. And yes, it's time to start building a winning team, without a doubt. Johnny Laterno, thank you for the super chat. He says, Stella! And of course,
stand up!
Don't worry, Johnny. We'll be doing it. Thanks to Orphanage DeGrom, Thursday, we will be doing an Eagles mock draft. And that has become very popular. So we'll have that for you. Eagle fans, you're going to stay tuned.
I'll tell you right now, John, I've been doing a ton of research on first-round long snappers, punters, and kickers for the Philadelphia Eagles. So we'll let you know, man.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. He says, how are the best half Giant, half Eagle fans duo? Chris, my hand is extended to you from the Giants. Mets looking good.
12-5. They won their first 5 series. If they beat the Cardinals in this upcoming series, it'll be the first time ever they won their first 6 series. So nice. I'm excited as a Mets fan. Good start to the year.
Yeah, and hey, the Yankees actually got a sweep. They actually swept somebody for a damn change. So Yankees not too bad. It's been the pitching that's got us.
You got the best record in the American League right
10-6. We'll take it. We can actually score some game runs.
Maybe it's actually going to happen this year.
By the way, real quick, I don't know if you saw this because I did a video. Michael K stole my video, Chris.
What do you mean?
He stole it. I did a video after we lost the first game to Baltimore, and I went back and I talked about the analytical garbage that I can't stand and said, hey, look at the 98 Yankees. They hit 207 homers. They're 4th in Major League Baseball, but they scored 965 runs. Mm-hmm. Because before I did this, I said, this is a mic drop statistic, okay? Last year's Yankees hit 222 homers. They scored 711 runs. I said they scored 250 less runs. I said, how the hell do you do that? I'm sick and tired of people talking about how batting average don't matter and sacrificing don't matter and all this doesn't matter. I said, how the hell do you hit more homers and score 250 less runs? I said, because you hit 235 as a team. Michael K, word for word on his Joey Gallo when they were talking about Joey Gallo. Copied it. He said, I got a text from a really good friend of mine. This guy really knows baseball. A really detailed text. And he reads exactly what I said. I go, that son of a bitch. I told you these people watch us.
Or maybe it was a friend of his that watched your video.
That's what it was. That's what it was. I said, I wonder how many other doozies that his friend gets from content creators.
Yeah, but I'm in complete. I've said that about the Yankees for years. Yeah, they got power, but they're station to station. I'm not trying to brag as a Met fan, but I'm not saying we have a better lineup, but I would rather have the type of lineup we have. We have speed, we have contact hitters, we got a blend of power. The Yankees, it's a lot of station to station baseball, and it's hard to consistently win games in the playoffs with a lineup like that.
Yeah, the Mets look good. Good for the Mets. Good for them. I got no problem with the Mets. I go out and spend the damn money. You should. Good for Steve Cohen. Good for the Mets. Dustin, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Bobby confirmed KT has been in New York since Saturday.
I'm assuming at voluntary camp, if that's what you're referring to, and hopefully that's the case.
I would guess. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been in New York since Saturday too. You know. Pencil Man, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says, nice to have both you for draft week. It's nice to be here. Do you expect any surprise trades from the G-men?
No, I don't. I honestly don't. I mean, there may be a trade at some point, but I don't think the Giants are going to be trading down. And again, I'm not going to be shocked if they do. I think the Giants are going to be looking to trade down. I just don't think there's going to be a market for it. I don't think teams are going to be clamoring to trade up. The one scenario where I could see it being somewhat possible is actually not for a quarterback. It's if the Giants if no tackles go early and we take a tackle at 5 and you still have like a guy like Aquanu on the board at 7, I could see a team in need of a tackle wanting to move up and get a player like that. But I don't see many teams looking to trade up to get Malik Willis. I don't see many teams looking to trade up to get Kenny Pickett. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I hope I am. But what I'll say is if we do trade down, I want to get the value that we should. I don't want to just trade down to trade down. But I don't think there's going to be a market there. I really don't. I think we're going to be at 5 and 7. I think the Giants are going to take the two best players they can.
Yeah, I agree. Unless something knocks their socks off, I don't think we're going to trade down. I would love to. I'd love to get a really good deal on something, but I didn't get the chance to read the article, but I saw a headline that was pretty much like, the Giants would get 75 cents on the dollar in a trade back.
Yeah. Zach Rosenblatt said that today, which, if you're going to get 75 cents on the dollar, just stay where you are.
Yeah. Take the two best players. We need the best players that we can get. We got 3 players in the top 36 and, it'd be great. I would love to be able to, trade back up. Like I said, one of the dream scenarios, and I'm sure Chris is on board with this too, is, like I said, Thibodeau falls to 5. You can get Aquanu or Cross or Neal at 7, one of them. And you're able to trade back into the first round and get a guy like Zion Green or something like that, or Zion Johnson. I'm sorry, Kenyon Green, somebody like that to get a guard, get a tackle, get an edge rusher. That would be the dream scenario. Even if Thibodeau's not there, and you could I don't know, man, because if you can get a Beakway in the second round, that might not be bad either. Also, there's the edge rusher Benito from Oklahoma, who was pretty damn good too. I think 36 would be a reach for him. But
not much though. I think he's going to go in the second round, probably mid-second round, but not that much of a reach. Would be a decent pick if they like. It would
be interesting to see what they do. How far do you think a reach is for James Cook? Because I heard that the Giants like him, and he's projected to go in the 4th round.
I think he's going 3rd.
But I was going to say, a lot of the mock drafts I do, he never makes it to 112.
Yeah, I think if the Giants want James Cook, and you never know, players drop all the time, but I think if the Giants want James Cook, they're probably going to take him at 81, if not possibly even 67, which I'm not in love with personally. Yeah. Listen, if they want to do that, they want to do that. I understand. They probably obviously don't view Saquon Barkley as the long-term answer, especially if they're drafting a running back in the 3rd round. But me personally, I would try to use this year to better improve that offensive line with a 3rd round pick. And then take the running back in the following draft if you want to take one relatively early to maximize his potential. We all know running backs have a short shelf life. I'm not going to cry if they do it. If he's a good running back, he's a good running back. But personally, I would prefer they go elsewhere in the 3rd round.
Yeah, same here. But I did hear that they like James Cook a lot. And, we always have to take a Georgia Bulldog. That's just part of it.
That's a fact.
Which I think that after the draft is over, if nobody drafts him, the Giants may add Jake Camarda as the punter. So I don't think we're taking him in the 6th round. Maybe if the Giants trade back and get into the 250s, we can take Jake Camarda.
You never know.
That's if the Eagles don't draft him in the 1st round, Chris.
I see James Jones list all the safeties at 36, which I actually had, I think it was Brisker in my only 6th round mock draft going to the Giants in the 2nd round. And it's why I don't want Kyle Hamilton. And again, if they take him, they take him. A lot of people really like him, but I think there's a lot of good value at the safety position. And you just listed 3 of them right there. That the Giants could look for at pick 36. All those players are really good. Seen or signing or however
from Georgia. Yeah, he's
really however good. It's pronounced. He's a really good fit for our defense too. He's really versatile. The same can be said for Petre. I just happen to love Brisker. Yeah. He's a fun player to watch, but I think all 3 of those guys are possibilities at 36.
Yeah, the guys from Baylor are pretty good. Baylor's got a really good defense. And you don't usually talk about defense, you talk about the Big 12. But some of the guys from Baylor are pretty good. And yeah, again, that's why I don't want Hamilton I think the Jets are going to end up with Kyle Hamilton. I don't know if they're going to get him I don't think they'll take him at 4, but at 10, I could see.
I can see it. Yeah, I think I right now I have the Jets going either edge or corner at 4 and wide receiver at 10. But I wouldn't be shocked if they took Kyle Hamilton at 10.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that they don't take Thibodeau and then go corner at 4, and we can get Thibodeau at 5. That'd be pretty good.
I'd be cool with that.
The funny thing is, I'd done a couple of mocks and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. They got Trayvon Walker going first overall. I'm like, the Jags.
There's a lot of teams. That's been getting a lot of smoke. Is Trayvon Walker going number 1 overall to the Jaguars? I don't know if I believe it or not, but
they'd have to fire the GM.
Seems like there's some legitimacy there to that.
Well, maybe he'll go in the top 5. I mean, you never know. We saw Clelin Ferrell go 4th.
Oh, I think he is going top 4. I think Trayvon Walker is going to go top 4.
Oh, God, that helps us out. Somebody please take him. Texans or somebody. Jets, go for it. Tutto, grazie. Thank you so much, Paisano. He says, I've been away from my family and my 2 young sons for 7 months, living in solitary training camps, playing for both the club and our national team at the same time. It's about principle, discipline, and lead by example. That's why we need Tutto on the team.
We need to. Tutto would be at voluntary camp.
Tutto would be running voluntary camp. Tutto would make his own voluntary camp. It wouldn't even matter. Like, nobody would be there. He'd just be there smashing and breaking up tackling dummies and shit. He'd be wrecking the equipment. He'd be like, give me another one. PTA, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, well. What do we have here? 2 goats.
What's up, Pest? Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing well.
I know you're excited about the draft.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Got to meet Pest to the Giants game. He's a great guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Andrew, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says, look at Ryan Dunleavy's Twitter.
Let me take a quick look. Ryan Dunleavy, what did he have to say from the New York Post? He said, this is accurate. Kadarius Toney is in the Giants facility now. So he's there now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's there.
Maybe the trade rumors got his ass over there.
Which is good. That's great news. We want him there. He needs
exactly.
To
but maybe you never know. Maybe something like that shook him up a little bit. Oh, geez, I better get my ass to camp.
And if it did, that's great news. I mean, whatever it takes to get him there, because we need him. We need him this year. So good.
We do.
Good news.
We definitely need him there because we're thin. I mean, we have the highest paid wide receiver room in the NFL, and somehow it's extremely thin.
And our top 2 caught 0 touchdowns.
That's what I mean. We got a guy coming off a torn Achilles. We got a guy that we paid $72 million that didn't score a touchdown. He was in and out, hurt, didn't really get involved in the game plan. And got Kadarius Toney, who the hell knows what he is.
Yeah.
So we do need him. We need him to, like I said, be all in, be ready to play, and we need him to be healthy, and we need him to produce. Because if Kadarius Toney's in the slot catching these passes or on the outside and making these big plays, that'll help everybody else out. It'll help Kenny Golladay out. Hopefully it helps their quarterback out.
That's the most important thing.
Exactly. Frank, thank you, brother. Appreciate it, my man. He says, give me Chanel or Quay Walker at 36.
Linebacker. Yeah, I mean, my mindset on 36 is just like any other draft is, I want to take the best available player. I'm personally not even really looking at need. We have so many needs. Once you get to 36, just take the best player that's there. And it's impossible for me to guess who it's going to be because there's going to be a couple of players that are going to drop that nobody expects to. It happens almost every draft in the second round. So we'll see. I'm open to any possibility. I'm open to a wide receiver. I'm open to a linebacker. I'm open to an edge. I'm open to an interior offensive lineman. Of course, it all depends on what we do with our first 2 picks, but we'll see. We'll see who drops to us at 36.
Yeah. Jihad, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, what would you guys feel if we went defense with both first rounders, Thibodeau at 5, Hamilton at 7? I like Thibodeau at 5. I'll pass on Kyle Hamilton. No, because like Chris said, and somebody mentioned it in the chat, the safety, there's a lot of good safety depth that we could probably get in the second round. And I would rather address the O-line at 7 than go with Kyle Hamilton. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, listen, if they do it, they do it. It would certainly help our defense long term. You get 2 players like that. But me, I'm not messing around. I'm getting the right tackle. I'm getting the right tackle with that 5th pick. Best BPA meets need there. You could certainly argue that one of those tackles is, if not the best player, among the best players available. And in my opinion, it's the Giants' biggest need. I'm not messing around. I'm taking my tackle at fifth overall. Whoever is my highest tackle on the board. And we'll see. A lot of people are worried that it could potentially be Charles Cross. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't. I don't know. You also have to factor in which of these tackles do the Giants feel best fit the offense that they're going to be looking to run. Well, you look at the offense that the Buffalo Bills ran last year. They don't run the football a whole lot.
Right.
They throw the ball a lot. Who's projected to be the best pass protector in this year's draft class? Charles Cross. So whatever they decide to do with that tackle position, I have my favorite. I want Evan Neal. That's my guy. That's my number one tackle. But whatever they do, I'm going to get behind it and trust that Joe Schoen had a good evaluation. But I expect the Giants to take a tackle. I'd be shocked if they don't take a tackle with one of those two picks.
I agree. Roldy says, good morning, Baddog. Good morning, Roldy. He says,
Hold on, Roldy.
Good morning, Christopher.
What's up, Roldy?
Roldy, what's going on? Danny Forever, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Daniel Jones will have 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and only 4 fumbles this year. You two haters will eat your words. He was better than Josh Allen before Garrett.
I will gladly eat my words, Danny, if he's better than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to eat their words more than me.
Yeah. I will gladly eat my words if he has 35. I would love to have 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 4
Matter
fumbles.
of fact, Danny, I want you to screen record this, and you can embarrass me if Daniel Jones becomes a better quarterback than Josh Allen. Daniel Jones will never be better than Josh Allen. I'm almost positive of it. And I pray to God I look like an absolute fool. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Better than Josh Allen. I'm sorry. He was never better than Josh Allen. You don't have the arm of Josh Allen. You don't have the athleticism of Josh Allen. He doesn't have the skill set of Josh Allen. He doesn't. Does he have a good skill set physically? Yes. And I've said that for years. This in between the years hasn't developed.
Who knows about the
Hopefully
stats?
This coach gets it out of him. That's all we can hope for. Listen, no Giants fan wants Daniel Jones to fail. Because if he fails, we fail as a team. Giants fans want him to have 35 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I think that's what some people don't understand is no Giants fans going out there going, God, I just want to hate. I want Daniel Jones to suck so I can hate on him. Maybe there's a couple of Giants fans, but those are rare. Okay.
I do think Daniel Jones is going to be better this year. I'll say that, Danny. I'll give you that. I think he's going to be better this year because of all the factors around him. I think. But I do not think he will be Josh Allen. I don't think he has that potential.
And I will agree. The Giants have done Daniel Jones no favors.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that one. Tutto, grazie. Thank you so much. He says, if that KT loser is in my locker room and acting the way he's doing, I'd straighten him up in a day. Make him walk straight, his shirt tucked in, his pants high, and he'll show 2 workout 15 minutes early. That's right.
I love it, Tuto.
That's what I'm saying. Tuto should be a coach. Take Tuto off the team. I'd say no. LA Lou, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, I did it again. My Giants optimism got the better of me. I bet the guy who delivers the dry cleaning at the job $5. The Giants will finish higher in the East than the Cowboys. I think they can. I hope you win that $5 in the worst way.
I pray you're right. And
in the worst way.
Who knows? I mean, it's football. It's a game of injury, so anything could happen. But I think you probably gave your guy $5.
Yeah. Our guy Bodo. Thank you, brother. Really, really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Cheers to you, my good man. He says, yellow. Yeah, yellow. What's up, people?
What's going on, Bodo, man? Thanks for popping in, buddy.
Thank you so much, Bodo, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well, sir. Probably on the road, maybe not on the road. Always much respect.
What is that, tattoo? What does he got there? That's
yes. C'est la vie.
Oh.
That's life.
There you go.
That's true, too. That's everything.
I like
everything is life. C'est la vie. C'est la vie. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you, my man. Give me Neal at 5, Dibs at 7. Oh.
I don't think there'd be many Giant fans upset if that happened.
Yep.
No. I still don't think Dibs is going to get to the Giants, but I hope he does. I don't even – if he does, I don't know for a fact we take him based off some of the things we've read. We'll see, but I love it if we got Dibs. I think he's arguably the best talent in this draft, so I'd be very happy if the Giants landed Dibs.
That would be amazing. By the way, shout out to – I see Mr. Up Tainah Senior in the house, so shout out to him. Chris, he might be giving you a hard time that you have a thicker beard than I do at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to shave. I was going to shave before, For some reason, I thought we were going at 11:30, so I'll be shaved tomorrow. I promise.
I did that to him on purpose so he would come on less shaven than me today. And, I just noticed that. I was like, he's got a thicker beard than me for once. Usually it's a complete other way around. Grim Silo, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says Bobby Skinner said Tony's in the building.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. Ryan Dunleavy also said that as well.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Chris Peace, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says, stand up. Need to get Baddog, Tainah, Pest Bobby, and Justin at a home game this year. What game do you want to see live? Oh, any of the rivalry games would be great.
Let's see the schedule, right? I mean, I preferably I'd like it to be early in the year because
so was I. I was talking to my brother-in-law about that. I'm like, I want to go in like September or October
because the game means something,
you know. And the weather's nicer.
And the weather's nicer, so I'd prefer it to be earlier. And let's see what the schedule is first. Hopefully, we got a good matchup. The first couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's always the NFC East teams is the ones that I really like to go.
You saw we got a game, or I think I don't know if it's official yet, but it looks like we're gonna have a game in England. You saw that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get up at like 8 a.m.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I like being able to wake up and get up and go and have football immediately. But how about that? So our fans in the UK are going to get some Giants football.
Yeah, I don't know if it's official, but I think I read that it's pretty much going to happen.
We were the first ones to play in London against Miami in 2007. I mean, did we play there in 11? I don't remember when we played there. We won a Super Bowl 1 year.
I know we played there in 15. The last time we made the playoffs.
Yeah, we beat the Rams. That was in Atlanta. Collins had the big game. I think that was the Rams against the Rams that game.
Yeah, I know we played there then. So hopefully it's good luck.
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We need all the luck we can get. Reality Stone, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. He says, I like Jones as a person, but I don't think I'm a hater for not wanting them to pay him $40 million a year for mediocre production, build up the O-line, and take the quarterback in 2023. And, that's the way I feel, reality. I don't feel that because we criticize him or we're talking about the way he plays. If he has a good game, like nobody came out against when he had the big game against New Orleans and says, oh, this guy blows. I think we were pretty happy for him. And yeah, I don't think it's being a hater. I think it's just being honest that he has not produced, especially for a 6th overall pick. And I agree. I don't want to give him $40 million when he hasn't proven that he can play at this level yet at a high level. So I agree. Build up the O-line, address quarterback next year.
Yeah, reality. I'm going to be strict this year, and I'm going to give my opinion. I'm certainly open if under a certain circumstance, if he kind of falls in the middle of potentially franchise tagging him for a year, if we're not in a position to draft a quarterback in 2023. But I am not giving him an extension outside of him potentially, at least being close to a guy like Joe Burrow, because you're not going to win the NFL when you pay a quarterback nearly 20% of your cap if he's not a guy that's a top 7-8 quarterback in the league. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to be strict in whether or not the New York Giants should extend Daniel Jones at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Not to mention his injury history.
Exactly. Yeah. That's another thing I totally failed to mention was he has not gotten through one season without missing time for injuries. And you just don't know. He just has not been consistent enough to warrant a second contract because no matter how good or bad he is, quarterback gets a second contract. They're getting paid. Yeah. Daniel Jones ain't going to get $10 million a year.
No, if he gets a second contract, I mean, look Carr just got. And I know Carr had a good year. He threw like 4,700 yards, but he had 24 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Yeah.
If Jones throws 24 touchdowns, 13 picks next year, am I going to feel comfortable giving him $45 million a year? I mean, and when you look at the contract, in fairness, and most of it's not guaranteed, they could get out of it after 1 year the way that it was structured. So, we'll see. But I'm going to be very strict. Let's put it that way. Jones has to really impress me this year for me to fully get on board with giving him a multi-year extension.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Chris, I think we talked about it before, still wouldn't give him a multi-year extension. I think we both said we would franchise him and make him do it again before they gave him a big contract. I wouldn't 1 year. I mean, listen, Leonard Williams may come out and be awesome this year, but Leonard Williams had one really good year. He got paid, and then he was mediocre last year.
Yeah.
So, Leonard Williams can get out from underneath next year, which they probably will. But with a quarterback, it's not going to be that easy to get out from underneath. And like you said, unless they structure it like Derek Carr's. I still wouldn't want to. I have a hard time. Derek Carr at least has been in the playoffs. The Raiders have been a good team. He has been consistent outside of the injury problems. He's dealt with some injuries, but he's been a better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Roldy, thank you, brother. Appreciate him, my man. He says, if we don't go quarterback, give me Neil or Cross. if we go tackle and give me Thibs or Jermaine Johnson or Lloyd, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the two tackles that you mentioned, and I like Cross more than I think a lot of Giants fans do right now. I'd be completely, again, I prefer Neal, but and Iquanu, but I like Cross a lot. I'd be completely fine with Cross. I'm not as high on Jermaine Johnson as a lot of Giants fans are, and I'm not saying I'm going to scream if we take him, but I wouldn't be in love with the pick if we took Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah. I want the tackles, man. If Thibodeau was at 5, I definitely want him, but this offensive line needs to be fixed. So let's hope so. So. Yeah. Jeffy, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Giants are shopping Slayton, according to Dan Dugan.
Yeah, I saw somebody mention that in the chat. I was going to bring it up, but I'm not surprised by that. I mean, Slayton could probably get you something. He's not making a whole lot of money. He has shown in the past he is at least capable of being a solid receiver. Maybe you get a 4th or 5th round pick from him. You're not going to get much more than that, but I'm not surprised by that. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes out from it.
I totally forgot about Slayton when I talked about the wide receiver room. The drops, man, he had such a good rookie season, such a promising rookie season. It looked like Gettleman actually found some value. And then, again, maybe that has something to do with Joe Judge in that coaching staff. Not the drops per se, but maybe his production. But yeah, I mean, listen, at this time of year, they call this lying season. I'm not saying that that's a lie, but there's a lot of rumors that are out there. And when you're a brand new GM and a brand new coach, you're going to listen to offers for probably any of your players because you have no commitment to these guys.
And maybe they include Slayton in a trade to try to make it more attractive to trade for Bradbury.
Right.
So a team takes on the contract because that's obviously the primary focus of trading Bradbury. So I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if the Giants traded any player in this team outside of Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
None of them are Joe Shane guys. So I would be surprised if we were able to trade certain players due to their contracts, guys like Kenny Golladay. But I wouldn't be surprised if he traded anybody. He's going to want his guys. We saw that last time around with Gettleman. That's what happens when you bring in a new GM. They're going to get rid of the old guys. They're going to bring in the new guys.
Yep. Yeah, completely agree. Alex, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. How early would you draft punter Matt Araiza?
6th round. That's our last. I don't think we have a 7th round pick.
We don't. We've draft 182 as our last pick.
And he probably won't last to the 6th round because he's a really talented punter out of San Diego State.
Yeah.
But I'm not spending a pick before our last pick on a punter. I'm completely okay with taking a punter with our last pick, but not before them.
Right. Yeah. If he gets to 182, sure. Or if, like I said, if not, and the guy goes undrafted, Jake Camarda from Georgia. He's pretty good. He ran like a 4.7 40. Guy can fly. Maybe we bring him out on some fakes, and go out there and we did that this year. Didn't we fake one and throw it right out of bounds?
Yes, we tried faking a couple of punts last couple.
Yeah, it was pretty
never worked.
We actually faked like we were playing football this year too, so it was pretty good. Abe Froman, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says, new Giants fan, Penn Robert, 21 inches, 8 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Congratulations. That is absolutely awesome, brother. Absolutely awesome. That's great news.
Congratulations.
Actually, that's about the size. My son was about that. He was 19 and a half inches, 8 pounds, 6 ounces. So
there you go.
Congratulations. It's the best thing in the world, brother. You're not going to sleep for the next few months. But it's worth it. Trust me. And they grow fast. It's incredible. My kid just turned 5 this month. That's insane. It's insane. Giants haven't been good since he was born, so it's about time. It's about time. But congratulations, Abe. That is awesome, brother. That's so cool. Flex Lopez, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, give me a Quanta or Neal at 5, but give me Sauce or KT, but 7, give me Sauce or KT.
Sign me up, Flex. Sign me up.
Oh, God.
You sign me up, man. I've seen a lot of mocks now where they got Sauce going 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I would love it if he got the 7. People compare him to like DeAndre Baker. They're like, oh, we got all hyped about DeAndre Baker when we drafted him. It's a completely different animal. This guy, DeAndre Baker, ran like in the mid 4.5s, high 4.5s. This guy ran a 4.41. Baker was, I think,
6'3".
Yeah, he's 6'3". Baker was like 5'10", 5'11". This guy's got long arms. And I know that's where they compare it, the touchdown stat, because Baker, I don't think, had surrendered a touchdown in his last 2 years in college, but this is a different animal. I think this guy is a really, really good prospect at the cornerback position. I'd be thrilled if the Giants got him, especially with the type of defense we want to run. If you're going to trade Bradbury, you need to replace him. You need strong cornerback play. So I'd be thrilled if we're able to get Sauce at 7.
I agree. By the way, we got 452 people in the house. And thank you guys and girls for being on a Monday morning / afternoon as we get ready for the draft. Make sure you guys and girls do us a favor, hit the thumbs up. It helps out the stream huge. Hit that subscribe button. And more importantly, make sure you go into the description. The link to the Entertainment Talking Sports is down there. Subscribe to him because we'll be on his channel tomorrow. My channel Wednesday, his channel Thursday in the afternoon, my channel Thursday for the night draft, my channel Friday in the afternoon, his channel Friday night, and all day Saturday for the draft. So you guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. We've done the draft since 2019 together when we had the infamous Daniel Jones reaction, and a lot of people got to know who we were.
Not happening this year. Not going to happen this year. But
a lot of people found Chris and the Baddog because of Daniel.
Oh, I'm sure. But we're gonna be smiles and butterflies this year. We're gonna be.
Let's hope so. I may do a cartwheel and break my ass.
I'm gonna be screwing about building the big blue wall. We're gonna get a tackle.
Yeah,
we're gonna be happy. We're gonna be thrilled.
Definitely. So it's going to be fun. You guys don't want to miss it. But thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Chris Peace, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Say DJ is a top 10 year. Extend him, franchise tag, or 5th year extension. Well, they'd have to give him the extension before June, I think. So
May 2nd.
May 2nd. Oh,
yeah, May 2nd is the deadline.
Okay, so it wouldn't be a 5th year extension. But I think Chris and I both said the franchise tag.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how big of a year he has. I mean, like if he has like if he completely exceeds expectations and they go to like the NFC title game and the guy throws like 40 touchdowns, all right, maybe I probably do the extension. But realistically speaking, if he has like a 29, 30 touchdown year and the Giants win 8 or 9 games and you're not really in a position to draft one of the high end quarterbacks, I think at that point you franchise tag him and you hope that he continues to improve, and then you use the 2024 offseason based off the way you played to decide whether or not you want to keep him here long term. I think if we're going to keep him, it's probably much more likely that it'll be on the tag as opposed to a second extension. But it all depends on how he plays.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, if he has a Josh Allen third season, like Josh Allen's third season,
yeah,
then it'd still be tough. But I mean, obviously, if Daniel Jones has a massive breakout season, like Chris said, he throws 38 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, he's healthy for all the games, and the Giants win the division and get to the second round of the playoffs even.
Then you're open to it.
Right. Then you're open because you can say, hey, it was the coaching all along, and they got some protection around him, and now he's the guy.
Yeah,
but I'm praying that happens.
That would be the best news because I'm gonna tell you what, if we have to move on from Jones, which I'm leaning we're probably going to, and I hope not in 2023, it's gonna be another year of saying let's wait a year. Got a young quarterback, it's gonna take another year. Yeah. So I think the best thing that could in terms of the Giants franchise is Jones takes that mega leap this year and then we see what we got going forward.
Yeah, completely agree, man. Zach, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, if we go wide receiver in the second round and running back in the third round, would you be fine with that?
Yeah.
You would?
I'm not in love with the third round running back. And wide receiver in the second round is not necessarily my preference, but I'd be okay with it. If a top 5 or 6 wide receiver falls to 36 and he's the best player on the board, wide receiver's in need of ours. I mean, it is. Kenny Galladay's probably not going to be here after next year. Kadarius Toney, who they're both injury prone. Darius Slayton, they're already talking about trading. Sterling Shepard, you don't even know if he's going to play to start the season.
Yeah.
So if there's a really good wide receiver talent, I'm not just taking one to take one. But if there's a guy that's projected to be a top 20, 25 pick and he's there at 36, he's the best player on your board, I'm completely open to that. I'm not in love with taking a running back in the third round, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not in love with the wide receiver in the second round. I know we need a wide receiver, but again, I want to build in the trenches. Like the first 3 picks, I want on the line of scrimmage. I know a wide receiver plays in the line of scrimmage, but he plays outwards. And I want, like I said, if a beak weighs
ideally, I want a guard. Like I want Kenyon Green to drop. I want Zion Johnson to drop. I want Tyler Linderbaum to drop. That's an ideal draft for me. If you're asking, not whether or not I'd be fine with it. An ideal draft for me is you get your tackle at 5, you get Sauce probably because Sauce is I think more realistic at 7, and then you get your interior offensive lineman at 36. One of those high end guys drop. That would be balls to the walls excitement. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean I'm not going to be pissed. I'm not going to be like I said. The only way I'm going to get really mad in this year's draft is if they took a wide receiver in the top 10. I would not be happy with that. Or they took a quarterback in the top 10. I would not be happy with that. Other than that, I'm not, I don't prefer Kyle Hamilton, but even then I'm not going to get pissed off if they do it because we need a safety. So I'm not going to go crazy. Like I said, the only way I'm going crazy is if they took a wide receiver 5th or 7th and they took Kenny Pickett or something like that, or Sam Howell. I'd probably lose my shit.
Yeah, that's my mindset too.
And that's not going to happen. So we don't need to worry about that.
Once you get out of the first round, just take the best players.
Exactly.
This is not a 1-year process. This is going to take multiple years. Yep. We need good players on this team.
Yep, completely agree. Andy, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it, my man. He says, morning, gents. Is there a world where we don't pick up a tackle in the first round, get 2 studs in the defense, then get a lineman in the later rounds?
Yeah, there's a world. It could happen.
Let's hope that world is
I don't think it's going to. I mean, by all accounts, the Giants have done a ton of research on all these tackle prospects. They have not addressed the tackle position this entire offseason. And there's 3 tackles that you could at least argue belong in the top 7 discussion. So it's not even like you're reaching.
Right.
So I think it's a circumstance where our biggest need also happens to meet best player available or close to best player available. So I would be very, very, very surprised if we don't take a tackle with one of those 2 picks.
Yeah. I completely agree. We need it. I mean, we do. The one sure thing, at least we think the one sure thing we have is Andrew Thomas. It would be nice to have bookend tackles for, again, if it's not Daniel Jones in the future, whatever our quarterback is in the future, you want him to be able to succeed and have confidence in his line that he can step back and scan the field and not get killed. So I think that one of those 2 picks will definitely be a tackle. I don't see how it's not, because it's not like one of the, like Chris said, not like one of those 3 tackles is not going to get to 5. Yeah. I'd be shocked if
and taking anyone, at least in my opinion, I know some Giants fans may disagree with Cross, but I think taking any one of those tackles at 5 is not a crazy reach. So right. I just think I'd be surprised. I think we're going tackle, and I don't even think it's going to be at 7. I think it's going to be at 5.
Yeah, I agree. Kayla, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. She says the Jets have Sauce Thibodeau as 1A, 1B. I'd be surprised if Thibodeau falls past the Jets here. Sauce gaining more traction, however.
Yeah, Kayla works for the Jets. I've seen rumors where he goes 3 to the Texans now. I've seen that, which they could do. I mean, the Texans could do anything. The Texans, you look at the mock draft, it literally says everything for team needs. So
right.
They could do anything. I personally think the Texans' best course of action is to go with the line. I think that's the long-term pick there. I think Ekwonu makes a ton of sense. A guy that's versatile, that can play both the guard and the tackle. You're rebuilding that team from scratch. But if they absolutely love Sauce and they feel like he could be the next, Darrelle Revis,
right?
They're going to take him. So, we'll see. A lot of people are high on Sauce, so he may be off the board at 3 or 4.
I can tell you this: a lot of the mock drafts that I've done, Sauce and Thibodeau are gone by the time the Giants get there, and it's usually Thibodeau or Sauce goes to the Jets or Sauce goes to the Texans. So that's usually how that draft ends up. Hutchinson, he's always first. Oh, he's always off the board.
Walker's probably going high too.
Like I said, Sauce is usually 3 or 4. Sometimes Ekwonu ends up with the Lions. Like, obviously you do mock drafts and it's always different, which is why so many people have so many different mock drafts, but it is rare. Like the couple of ones that I've done that I showed, Thibodeau ends up with us, but there's a lot of them, like Sauce and Thibodeau, are gone, and one of them is taken by the Jets.
Yeah, and I think
the Jets would take Sauce and Hamilton in the same draft?
They could. I think the Jets, maybe somebody in the chat could let me know. I obviously don't follow their offseason as closely as ours. I think the Jets signed a cornerback this offseason, if I'm not mistaken, to a decently sized contract. But everything you hear, the Jets need to improve the defense as a whole. They have a defensive-minded head coach, Robert Salah. They need both. They need an edge and secondary help. I would be a little bit surprised if they took both a corner and a safety, being that they're also in a year where you have to start to evaluate Wilson. It's year 2. And, they're probably going to have their pick of the litter for the best wide receiver. They've shown interest in trading for wide receivers with Tyreek Hill. And who knows, maybe they end up with Deebo Samuel. If they do, that completely changes everything. But if they don't retrieve a wide receiver before the draft, or they don't think they're going to be able to get one before the season starts, like a high-end wide receiver, I still think they're going receiver with that 10th pick.
What do you think Deebo's worth?
a lot, and you're gonna have to pay him a ton
Mhm.
because you see the market for the wide receivers. It's insane after Christian Kirk signed that $22 million a year
Yeah.
contract or whatever it was, and then Devontae Adams got like 30. He got quarterback money.
See, so listen, as shitty as Galladay was for us last year, it
It's
wasn't
half
awful.
what Adams is getting pretty much. But yeah, you also have to factor that in. If you trade for Debo, not only are you going to be giving up a first round pick more than likely, you're also going to have to pay him like $35 million a year.
Mhm. Yeah. Craziness, man. Craziness.
Yeah.
Pencil Man, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, I really hope we show progress this year. Maybe Bad Dog can put his clown mask away. I've thrown that target bag away, Pencil Man. It's a new season. I don't want to break that thing out. I don't want to break it.
I don't want the Joe Judge playbook either.
Yeah, no Joe Judge play, but that went right down the toilet, literally. Good. We're good there. AJ, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. You expect the Giants to pick up Dexter Lawrence's fifth-year option?
Yes, actually. And if you would have asked me that question like 6 months ago, I would have said no. But when you think about it, $10 million is not a whole lot. Austin Johnson got $7 million a year. The D tackle market has gone way up along with the rest of the market because the salary cap continues to go up. Dexter Lawrence will get more than $10 million in the open market if he becomes a free agent next year. What did Dalvin Tomlinson got more than that, right? I mean, 2 years ago when we had the pandemic. So when the salary cap went down. So I know like Dexter Lawrence hasn't been this incredible player for the Giants, but yeah, $10 million. I think that's fair market for him. So I do think the Giants will extend him on the fifth-year option if I had to guess.
Not to mention, we're gonna have a lot of cap space next year.
Yeah,
we'll be able to afford that. That'll be a great. I mean, for $10 million, yeah, because like you said, if you're going to go out in the free agent market and replace him, you're going to probably pay that at least, if not more, unless you draft a defensive tackle next year. But it makes sense to keep him for fifth year at $10 million.
And we'll see. I mean, maybe not. Maybe maybe Joe Schoen will evaluate him differently and not feel he's part of the long-term answer, and they'll move on and look to potentially acquire a comp pick if they're not going to spend a ton next year. But if you ask me what's more probable, that or Jones on the fifth-year option, I would lean Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, he's going to cost a lot less.
Yeah.
For sure. Mr. Mini Guy, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Says 1, 2, 3 into the foe. Bad Doggy Dog and Entertainer at the door. It's one of the greatest rap songs ever. Not Bad Doggy Dog and Entertainer at the door, but obviously Nothing But a G Thing by Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg is one of the greatest rap songs ever.
What's up, Mini Guy? I know you're a Braves fan. We got you guys coming up soon. We're only up by 5 games on you so far, so we'll see.
Oh man. April 24th, Chris is nailing a Braves fan. I love it. I'm good for Mets fans, man. I don't get to do that very often, so it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. No Mazlumi, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It says Dan Dugan is saying the Giants are shopping Slayton.
Yeah, we saw that earlier. And I'm not too surprised by it. I don't know what they'll be able to get. My guess would be about a 5th-round pick, but I'm not too surprised by it.
Yeah, me neither. We'll see. We'll see. Michael, and again, if the Giants, I mean, they could always draft a wide receiver too and get something for Darius Slayton. That'd make perfect sense.
Yeah.
So it's very possible. Michael Matthias, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Says, I may be an island, but I say Aquanu and Linderbaum. Eat the Bradbury contract. He's in his prime. I'm tired of feeling like Joe Pesci getting made. Yeah, I'm tired of feeling like that.
Michael wants the 2 linemen with the first 2 picks. Michael, I don't think they're going to do that, but I'm not going to scream if they do. I think I don't really see a scenario where we go with 2 offensive linemen with our first 2 picks, but if there's going to be one, I think it would be if 2 of the 3 tackle prospects, because you could convert Aquanu to the guard. Right. I don't think we would take Linderbaum that high, but if we were going to go with 2 linemen, like if you told me before the draft they're taking 2 linemen, I would guess it would be Neal and Cross with Aquanu if they were to drop.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I can say, I'm in love with Linderbaum. I think Linderbaum's awesome, but he has definitely fallen down the draft, and it's possible that he does get into the 2nd round. I really don't see him getting past Cincinnati at 31. I'd be shocked if he made it to the 2nd round, but depending on what the Giants do, maybe there's a scenario where they can trade up in front of Cincinnati and get to 29 or 30. If Linderbaum goes past the Packers, which I think that may be the earliest he goes at 22. I think the Packers draft 22. The Cowboys could use him at 24. and then the Bengals. So I think there's some things there. But if he gets past the Cowboys at 24, maybe there's a possibility Giants straight up into the first round and get him, which I would love because I think Linderbaum is awesome. And you guys know that I wanted Creed Humphrey for years, and he only ended up being the best graded rookie lineman in the history of PFF. So,
Yeah, I've talked about that too. The possibility of that happening. I think they'd have to fall to like the 28, 29, 30 range.
Yeah.
But I think it is possible they could look to trade up to get, a guy like Linderbaum there or Kenny Green or Zion Johnson. I could see.
Yeah. But I'd be happy with that. Listen, you get me to listen, Chris, I'm with you. I'm dreaming about the hawk. Well, whatever you want to call them.
I'm gonna call him the big blue wall.
Yeah, dreaming about the wall.
Yeah, the wall.
Dreaming about the wall. Like Pink Floyd. But we're blue. We're gonna be the Blue Floyd.
Yeah.
Blue Floyd. Rizza the Jizza, Ghostface Killing, old dirty bastard. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. You gotta be an old school rap guy to know what the hell that means. I am old, and I do love Wu-Tang Clan, greatest rap group ever. Just can't wait to watch you guys in draft night. The best part of the season is almost here.
Yeah, man. I can't wait, man. And hopefully we're all happy on draft night. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I'm ready to have a good draft. We're all ready to have a good draft for once. Roldy, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Says if the Giants take Trayvon Walker with the 5th or 7th pick, I'm be pissed.
I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it, Roldy, because I'm buying into it. I don't know if he's gonna go first, but I think he's going top 4. So I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it. And I wouldn't be pissed. He's not my dream pick, but I wouldn't be pissed. I think he has a lot of upside. So I hope it works out. But he's not my dream pick. I'll say that.
So let me ask you this: if he does go in the top 4, Hutchinson's going in the top 4.
Yeah.
So do you think it's Sauce and Thibodeau, and then we have anybody we want? Or do you think Sauce falls out because Evan Neal goes in the top 4?
I think one lineman's going in the top 4. If I had to guess, I don't know if it's going to be Ekwonu. I don't know if it's going to be Neal.
Okay.
I think one lineman's going in the top 4. I think Hutchinson's going in the top 4. I think Walker's going in the top 4. And then it's either Sauce or Tibbs. That's
so one of those would fall to us.
One of them I think is going to get. And it's just me guessing, but one of the scenario where I see one of them not getting to us is if no offensive linemen go in the top 4, which I suppose is possible if the Texans don't go line, which I think they're going to. Then it's possible none of them get to us, but all 3 tackles would.
So in that scenario, Sauce is there at 5, and then there's 2 linemen left.
Yeah.
Would you take Sauce at 5 and then take the lineman at 7?
It depends how I evaluate the lineman. Like if I'm Joe Shane and
if it's Cross and Ekwonu, say,
and if I think Ekwonu is significantly better than Cross, I just take the lineman. And the reason being is I think if Sauce, unless the team trades up, I think if Sauce gets to 5, he's getting to 7 because the Panthers took J.C. Horn last year.
Oh, true. Yeah.
They took an early first-round cornerback, and they need to focus heavily on that offense. They have a pretty good defense. Their offense is what needs the upgrades with the line, potential quarterback pick. So unless the Panthers trade out of that pick and somebody comes up to get Sauce, I think he would get the 7 if he got the 5. So I'd be leaning line. I would go Sauce if I had a near equal grade though. Like if I thought Cross and Ekwonu were like dead even, I would make sure I got my corner and then I would get the other lineman.
Gotcha. I mean, that makes sense. Then you answered it because I said, do you think it's possible? I was going to ask if you think it's possible the Panthers take a quarterback at 6, and you said that. So
yeah, I think quarterback or line, if they're staying at 6, I think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean Malik. I think that's as early as Malik Willis goes.
Yeah, it could be Pickett too, but I think that's as high as I think quarterback, the first pick they could be.
Can you imagine them taking Pickett? I wonder how Panther fans would feel. They took Pickett at 6.
I would be fuming.
I'd be pissed.
Kenny Pickett to me, there is nothing about Kenny Pickett, and I know there's some Giants fans who disagree or football fans that disagree. And I've thought this since like December. There is nothing about Kenny Pickett to me that screams excitement or upside. Right. I'm not denying he could be a good quarterback, but I don't want to spend a top 6 pick on a guy that's ceiling is a potential pretty good quarterback.
Which is what we did in 2019.
Yeah, and Pickett's it would be even worse in my opinion because he's 24.
Yeah.
He before this year he wasn't really much to speak of at the collegiate level. I know people compare him to Joe Burrow, but is he Joe Burrow? I mean,
he played in the ACC. The ACC sucked this year.
Yeah, so
Clemson fell off, and North Carolina was terrible. So
I would not be in love if my team took Kenny Pickett
oh,
instead
I
of
wouldn't
Tennessee.
be. I'd be pissed. Mac, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says 2 top 10 picks. That's not easy to accumulate. So when does it become easy? 2 offensive linemen or 2 defensive or 2 O linemen or D linemen. No excuses, especially if you're not a contender.
Yeah, I mean, Mac, when you're picking that high, like you said, if you're not a contender, if you're not going quarterback, which in my opinion, and I think most people in this chat's opinion, this is not the draft to take a quarterback. You think long term, and long term to me, like you said, is the line and getting an edge. Potentially a corner as well. Corners are very important in today's NFL, but you have to go for a premium position with those 2 picks, and the biggest long term position is going to be the line.
Yep.
So I'm in complete agreement with you, man. We got to think long term. It's not just about next year.
Exactly. And that's the whole thing. We have to rebuild this correctly because we didn't rebuild it correctly the first time. And that's why we're in the situation we are 4 years after Gettleman's left the building. And that's the problem. We have to build from the inside out. And I completely agree. We're not a contender going into the season. Hopefully by the end of the season, people would be changing their mind. But yeah, you got to build in the trenches. There's no question about that. Frank, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. Says, would you be upset if the Giants take Cross over Neal or Stingley over Gardner?
Well, you go first.
I would not. Listen, again, like Chris said, I'm not. If they think Cross is better than Neal, I'd have to get on board with it. I'd rather have Neal. I'd rather have Evan Neal. I think he's the better tackle. I think he's the better prospect. He may be the best tackle in this draft. I like Aquanu the best of all 3 of them, but I would definitely prefer Neal over Cross. Not going to get pissed if they go Cross over Neal. Same thing as Stingley over Gardner. I prefer Sauce over Stingley, but I understand it's a need because Bradbury probably won't be there, and he won't be there in the future regardless. And again, I'm not going to be pissed if they decide that Stingley's the better product, but to me, I'd rather, if I have those options there, I want Neal and Gardner over Cross and Stingley. But if that's the direction that they felt was best for the Giants, like Chris said, if they feel Cross fits their system better than Neal and that's the direction they want to go, it's their first year. I have to get behind them and say, okay, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I definitely prefer Neal and Gardner over Stingley and Cross.
Yeah. And yeah. You said basically what I'm going to say is Neal's my number 1 tackle. But at the same time, it's a new regime. And if they feel Cross fits what they're trying to do better, and I think people undersell Cross. I think Cross could be a very good tackle. He is graded as the best pass protector in this class. So if the Giants feel that way, they've done a ton of homework on him. I'll support it for sure. And to me, it's just a matter of getting a really good tackle. If Neal ends up being a little bit better, but Cross is still, a really good tackle for the New York Giants for the next 10 years, I'm going to be happy. And if they feel he fits the scheme and they think he projects to be a really good player for the next 10 years, I'm completely okay with it. I just need them to take a tackle. As far as the second question, I much prefer Sauce to Stingley. I know a lot of people are starting to fall in love with Stingley. Stingley, by all accounts, has not been the same player since 2019, whether it be due to injuries, whether it be due to the fact that he hasn't as much surrounding talent on his football team. I know he plays at a bigger school. He didn't play that many games last year either, if I'm not mistaken. I think he only played like 3 or 4 games due to injuries. So I think Stingley's a much bigger risk. I also think that Sauce Gardner fits our scheme much better. But Sauce may not be there. So like we were saying, Sauce may go top 3 or 4. And if they want to go corner, Stingley may be the selection at that point. They could take Stingley if they evaluate him to be the better prospect. I don't think they'll do that, though. I think Sauce will be their number 1. I'm not going to flip out. I'd be slightly disappointed, though, if they took Stingley over Sauce.
Yeah, agree. Jeffy, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, who's ready for a Philly 500 draft meltdown? Philly 500 is getting ready to make another trade video.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to melt down. Well, anything can happen, but the Eagles have so many picks where they only have 2 now because they traded out of 1. I think the Eagles are going to play it safe. I think the Eagles are going to go double defense. That's what I think they're going to do. Which guys they're going to get, I'm not sure. They might go linebacker. They haven't gone a line. They kind of need a linebacker. They need a linebacker for a long time. They also, I could see them going Jordan Davis, even though they have Fletcher Cox. He's getting up there in age, and we know that the Eagles prioritize interior pressure, and Jordan Davis is a guy I really like, but I don't see the Eagles making an off-the-wall pick this year. I think they're going to go double defense if I had to guess.
Please take a wide receiver with one of them picks.
They might. I could see them taking a wide receiver as well.
They have to. They got to do what the Detroit Lions did. Just take one every year till you get it right. They finally got one right with Calvin Johnson. It took them a while, but they got one right.
Yeah.
Zach, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. We could trade Bradbury to the Chiefs for their first-round pick and take the center out of Iowa. I think Chiefs are going to give up a first for Bradbury, but
maybe he's referring to swapping 36 for like 29. I could see that being a possibility. Maybe that
yes.
Yeah, that he's worth the difference of those 7 picks. You're not going to get the 29th pick or whatever they're picking without giving up pick 36 if you include Bradbury. Listen, if they were able to do that, yeah, it all depends on who's there, though, right? I mean, if there's not somebody worth trading up for, then I'd rather just get an additional 3rd-round pick or something. But it all depends on who's there.
But yeah, I mean, Zach, if that was a possibility where you could dump Bradbury's contract and move up and get Linderbaum for 36 and Bradbury, then yeah, absolutely. That would be a dream scenario. Or like you said, Kenton Green, Zion Johnson, one of those guys. Anything to help build the offensive line this year. And that goes to James Kent. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Can we please take 2 offensive linemen? Please, Lord Jesus. Amen.
James Kent, if they take 3 offensive linemen in this draft, I'll be thrilled. I definitely one in the first. I would prefer one in the second if there's one worth drafting there, but I think you're going to get it. I would be surprised, James, if by the end of round 3, we don't have at least 2 linemen. I think you're going to get a tackle in the first, and I think by the end of pick 81, you'll have an interior lineman. If I had to guess, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. That's why Thursday night's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Wheelkey, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Says the Giants go Pickett, London, Cook, first 3 picks. I bet you they don't do that.
I bet you my laptop would be snapped in half if they did that.
Yeah, but Wilkie's a Bears fan, so
Wilkie, if they did that, I would end the stream. I would go to Best Buy and buy a replacement television to watch the rest of the draft because mine would be broken.
Yeah. But he's upset. They got no picks. We have their 7th pick, and Wilkie's probably sitting there going, "Damn it! I wish we had a 7th overall pick to help."
You know what? I understand, man. You're left with a quarterback that has no support now. You gave up your 1st-round pick. I understand you're upset. Yeah. You finally got rid of Nagy. Maybe you're excited about that, but your Bears are in trouble, man. So I understand where you're coming from.
Cy Guy Bride, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate it. He says, won't Aquanu be pissed if the Giants draft him to be a guard? He'd be paid a lot less. We want happy Giants.
Yeah, and I've talked about that. Cy Guy is something that would concern me, and why I don't think even if they felt he was the best player on the board, why I would be surprised if they double dipped on the offensive line. But that's the only scenario where I could see it even being a remote possibility is if you got 2 of the top 3 linemen with the 7 picks. But yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you. That would be a concern as a Giants fan. Is Aquanu going to be happy playing that guard position for the rest of his career? Because when you take a lineman that early, that's your line of thinking, right? That this is going to be a guy I want to be here for the next 10 to 12 years. Of course, it would bring some value. Andrew Thomas has been banged up with injuries his first 2 years. If he goes down, Aquanu could shift to the tackle. But I don't see it happening. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. I as much as I would like to get 2 offensive linemen, like Chris says, I'd rather just draft a guard than draft a tackle and move him to guard. If you can get Kenny Green or Zion Johnson later in the draft, or Tyler Linderbaum was a center, I'd be fine with that. But yeah, you want happy Giants. That's for sure. You really don't want to draft guys and automatically move them out of position. That's something like that was my concern. That's my biggest concern with Cross was moving him to the other side. We did that with Eric Flowers. And I mean, he went from the right to the left. This would be going from the left to the right, but still, I always get a little concerned when they play college and then they go to the NFL where it's a completely different animal and they're immediately out of position. I would not want I wouldn't want to draft Aquanu as a guard. They're drafting Aquanu, it's going to be for a tackle. I would imagine. L.A. Lou, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. He says, I think it should be stressed that the success of the Giants depends on how well you run the ball. Jones isn't the kind of quarterback to carry an offense.
Hopefully he is, because if he's not, then I probably don't want him here long term. I think when you get paid $45 million a year, you got to be capable of carrying an offense.
Right.
But we'll see. Hopefully he is. And, I'm going to give him this year and because I do think he'll be the starting quarterback, and hopefully he matures with all the better surrounding parts, the scheme, the line, everything else. But I saw Birdie say this. He said we could move Ike Aquanu to guard for 1 year, then move him to tackle. That's what the Dolphins did with Tunsil. Yeah, but Birdie, in that scenario, who are you moving him? Who are you moving off the tackle? You have Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal at that point, or Charles Cross at that point playing the tackle. We were talking about double dipping on the offensive line. And if you didn't double dip on the offensive line, Aquanu's going to play the tackle. He's not going to play the guard if you draft him. So I don't see a spot for him to
Yeah.
shift from guard to tackle.
Yeah. And yeah, Lou, I mean, honestly, running the ball is important for any quarterback. You have to make the defense honest. You got to get yourself in third and manageables. No matter how good your quarterback is or how good or bad your offensive line is, if your quarterback's 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, 2nd and 13 all the time, 2nd and 9, it's going to be tough for any quarterback to succeed. You can get Daniel Jones in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3s. We have a much better chance, and he has a much better chance to succeed because the defense has got to sit there and in the back of the mind go, is Daniel Jones going to run? Or are they going to hand the ball off? There's a lot of options you can do on 3rd and 3, which 3rd and 13 you're not going to do. You're either going to run a draw play, which is a give up play, or a quarterback sneak if you're Joe Judge.
On 3rd and 9 at your own 5.
What's that?
On 3rd and 9 at your own 5.
Right. So you do that, or they're going to drop back the pass, and we're going to get blitzed the hell out of, and the line's going to get beat. So running the ball is very important, especially with Giants. That's Giants football.
Yeah.
No. Abe, thank you, brother. Appreciate it, my man. Cost a trade out of 5 if somebody wants a quarterback before Carolina. Well, I guess it would depend on the team.
Yeah, that's the first thing you got to figure out is how far you trading back. The further you trade back, the more you're going to get.
Yeah. So but
I mean, I'll give him
Atlanta. Atlanta would probably be the first team I could see trading up.
Yeah, okay. I'll throw out in Atlanta
they would have to give us their 2nd round pick at number 8, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back in time with quarterback trades. Is the Sam Darnold trade is at least fairly comparable, where the Jets moved from 6 to 3. It was a 3-pick jump. Now 3 is going to cost you more, so you're not going to get quite as much.
Right.
But the Jets had to surrender 3 second-round picks to do that. So I would want 2 second-round picks. If I'm dropping from 5 to 8, I would want this year's 2nd and the 2023 2nd. If I'm dropping from 5 to 8, it would probably be somewhat comparable to 9 as well with the Seahawks. It's a similar amount of picks. So 2 second-round picks if it's a smaller trade. If you're trading back to like 20, I'm getting a future first.
Definitely, yes, without a doubt. Yeah, if you're trading back with Pittsburgh, I think I've tried this scenario with Pittsburgh when I do the mock drafts, and I've traded back to 20. And I've gotten 20. I got their 3rd round in next year's first. Kind of like what we did with the Bears. Or maybe it was next year's, I think it was first, third. I think it was 2 firsts and 2 thirds is what I did with the Steelers. But the Steelers are going to be good, so I don't know how well that would work out. I don't think the Steelers are going to be picking top 10. Like when we traded the Bears, I'm like, the Bears are going to suck this year. And they had a tough schedule and they're not good. It made sense. Pittsburgh's always going to be picking in the 20s. They're always solid, no matter who the hell's there, because they're a well-run organization, which is something we're not, which is why we're always picking in the top 10, much like the Jets. Both of us are run like crap. But yeah, it would definitely depend on who's moving up. Obviously, if it's Atlanta, we're going to get less than if it's Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and Atlanta, I would be shocked if Atlanta's willing to give up a future first at 8 to move up for a quarterback, especially being that Atlanta knows if they start a rookie quarterback, they're going to suck. So they're going to be giving up the 8th pick and more than likely a top 5 pick in next year's draft, where it's supposed to be a stronger quarterback draft class. So I would be very surprised if the Giants were able to get a future first if they only drop back 3 or 4 spots.
I agree. Philly 500. Hey, King Dingbat. Hey, doing King Dingbat here. King Dingbat here, ready. Don't you have another trade video to make? Eagles got to go out and get Tyreek Hill. Oh, wait, that didn't happen. They got to go out and get Deebo Samuel. That's not going to happen. Every trade rumor that Philly 500's ever come up with, has it any of them ever happened? No. You're not getting Deebo. You're not getting whatever. You're not getting – you guys stink. He says, let the meltdowns begin. Baddog is a mad dog and Dolphin Banger.
Philly, I'm glad to see you, man. And we're not having meltdowns, man. We're staying here. We're going to be calm, cool, collected. We're getting our tackle. We're getting our defensive playmaker. We're going to be thrilled on draft night.
That's right. You might have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Take another wide receiver. Go for it. You got to get one right eventually. Got to. You're not trading for one. Peter, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, Shesterkin is the real deal, man. I'm scared of him. Rangers are the best team in New York. The Mets might have something to say about that, but Rangers are looking
both good.
Rangers are looking good.
Yeah.
Rangers looking good. Looking forward to playoffs. Yeah, finally get a New York playoff team. It'll be nice. I'm not counting the Yankees getting beat up by the Boston Red Sox.
The Knicks last year, but they got destroyed.
Yeah, we don't I think the Rangers can actually get past the first round.
I don't count Brooklyn.
No, they're gonna get swept anyway. Brooklyn's not New York. When I do those streams, man, I always talk about, I'm like, listen, people are like, oh, the Celtics fans are allowed there. I go, because the Brooklyn fans are Knicks fans. People that grew up in Brooklyn are Knicks fans. They're not Nets fans. The Nets are in New Jersey. So, of course, people from Boston are going to come over there.
Yeah, it's the Jersey Nets. I still call them the Jersey Nets.
Brooklyn's going to fall apart. KD is going to leave. Kyrie's going to leave. And then what do you got?
Yeah.
Then they're going to go back to New Jersey. Of course, we play in New Jersey, and we're called the New York Giants and the New York Jets, so go figure that out. Who the hell knows? How come they weren't the New York Nets? They played in New Jersey. That's a whole thing. Jeff Rowe, thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. He says, what if all 3 tackles are gone by pick 5? What would you all do?
It's not going to happen.
Thibodeau.
Yeah, but in the hypothetical, Jeff Rowe,
trade back.
Yeah, I would definitely be looking to trade back with those picks and maybe get a guy like Penning in the 15 to 20 range, or I don't know. But I would definitely be looking to trade back. Fortunately for us, Jeff Rowe, it's not happening. I don't see 3 tackles going in the top 4 picks. But if I was staying at 5 and 7, I double up on defense at that point. That's probably what I do.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, you could go Sauce and Thibodeau there.
Yeah,
probably. Stan, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Willis at 5. Just kidding. Do you think Shane is using a John Mara character smokescreen tactic to hide intent for Kayvon? Doubt he's there. If so, so smart. Or if so, smart.
No, I don't. It's not like the Giants have not shown interest towards Kayvon. They had him in for a visit, for a top 30 visit. He came in. I think they went to his pro day, so it's not like the Giants aren't showing interest in Kayvon. No, I don't think there's any smoke screen there. I don't know if they would take him or not, but I think you haven't heard any teams really being absolutely in love with Kayvon Thibodeau. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens on draft night.
We will. I'll tell you what, if Trayvon Walker ends up going first, man, it's amazing what the combine does.
Yeah, I mean,
we had that guy going top 5 before the combine.
I think it's just a scenario where a team sees the guy's upside and potential, and they look how he could fit their defensive scheme, and they think they could turn him into a superstar. But it's all based off potential. And he was solid at Georgia. He had a really good playoff, but it's a reach.
Georgia was solid overall. I mean, they worked off each other. I mean, looking at Kobe Dean. I mean, Sign. I mean, they have Jordan Davis. I mean, they got potentially 4 first-round picks off their defense this year.
Yeah.
So
stacked, man.
It is. Pimp, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Can someone explain to me the obsession with Jones? Like, he isn't the guy. We know that now. Build the offensive line, take the quarterback next year. His book is closed. People just want to believe.
I'm not gonna quite say the book's closed, but it's certainly very close. Yeah. And I mean, he's our quarterback. I think that's the obsession. And I think the fans that convince themselves that he could be the quarterback think it's the variables. They think it's the line. They think it's the scheme. And they think it's the injuries around him. So that's their line of thinking. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with it. I need to see a lot more from him before I start to even entertain that he could be a long-term answer. And, as a fan, we'll sit back, relax, enjoy the show this year and see with the improvements around him, what he could become. And if he doesn't become a top upper echelon quarterback, yeah, like you said, you're looking for one.
Yep, definitely. Nick, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. How bad would it be if Judge is still here? I'd have my clown mask still. And my playbook.
I think Judge did himself in last year. I thought he was coming back until that press conference when he had the 11-minute rant or whatever, where he basically let the trolls get to him. And people were saying all year, people were saying all year, I need to see more to you. I need to see more to you in the press conferences. And he gave in, and it was the worst decision the guy ever made. He should have just stayed status quo and given the blasé answers, because he'd probably still have a job. And then obviously the QB sneak the last week of the season didn't do him anything.
What a way to go out.
Yeah, but once he had that tirade, I said to myself, yeah, he's probably gone.
Yeah, he became unraveled at the end.
Yeah,
he did. Dashy, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Giants are taking offensive tackle first, then defensive lineman. Dashy, it'll depend on who's there, because if Thibodeau is there at 5, he probably ain't going to get to us at 7. So we might take Thibodeau there and then a tackle at 7. But yes, I'm in complete agreement with you, Dash. I think the Giants do need to go defensive and offensive lineman in the first 2 picks. Again, depending on who's there, but that would be best case scenario for us.
Yeah,
is to adjust the line on each side.
I think you're going to get that, or a corner. That's what I think you're going to get. I think you're going to get a corner or an edge with a tackle. I'd be very surprised if it's anything but that with our
And
first two picks.
and Dashy's a Bengals fan, so Dashy, like I said, if Linderbaum falls to you at 31, there's no way you do not take that guy. You'll be pissed. You'll be raging.
I know the
Dashy rages a lot.
Bengals. I don't remember their whole offseason, but I remember they addressed the offensive line somewhat this offseason. But
They did.
that needs to be the focal point still because they have everything else.
Well, their corners are terrible. Hey, you got Eli Apple going. We were talking about that last time. They're off. Their corners are awful.
We'll give you Bradbury, man.
Yeah, we'll give you Bradbury for sure. Pimp, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it. Says good quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls anymore. We play in a league with Watson, Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, all under 30. That's the type of talent we need.
Ideally,
the game's changed.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could, I think I could argue you could win a Super Bowl without one of those guys. The Eagles proved it with Nick Foles. It can happen, right? The Rams were close with Jared Goff. Garoppolo's been close a number of times. It can happen, but I don't think it's sustainable. That's where I will definitely agree with you. I don't think it's sustainable to have a team year in and year out be able to compete for a championship without one of those upper echelon quarterbacks. That I will agree with.
Andrew, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Trayvon Walker, as of this morning, is minus 150 to go number one. That is insane.
Yeah, he's the favorite.
Wow.
Nothing's going to surprise me though. Those change, man. I remember the day of the draft, those shift dramatically. Like back in the 2018 draft, Baker Mayfield, I don't think was the favorite until the day of, and then you start to hear things come out that, he was going to be the guy. Same thing kind of with Daniel Jones to the Giants. You didn't really hear it till the day of or the night before.
Yeah.
So that could change, but right now the feeling is that Walker's the favorite.
God, man, who's the guy that gets hurt or has the gas mask like Tunsil, or what happens? Some tweet, some pictures, some TikTok. All of a sudden, a guy now is supposed to be top 10 falls way out of it because of something stupid. There's always that happens on draft night. The drama of draft night is real.
Yeah,
it's pretty fun. Andy, we got time. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Your Pelicans are looking damn good, brother.
Did they win again?
Everything they want in that series.
Did they win again?
Yeah, they're tied at 2 apiece. They blew them out last night. Pelicans blew them out.
I'm going to tell you what, and I think the Suns will still win that series, but I'm going to tell you what, I think the Warriors are going to win the whole thing.
They could.
I think the Warriors are going to win the whole. They look good, man. When I've watched them, at least they've looked good.
But Ian Wake at time says, would you all be okay with getting Thibodeau and Cross at 5 and 7? I'm really high on Cross, 2 linemen, but not mad at an edge, and got the Pels. I didn't even see that at the end there. But Ian Wake at time, I think both Chris and I would be very happy if we got Thibodeau and Cross.
Oh yeah, I'll be happy. Definitely be happy with that.
Reality Stone, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, New York basketball teams suck in general. The Nets fan base is fake. Well, that we know. MSG is fake as well. All the people from last year left. Most people under 30 are player fans. I think that could be a case for
here's what I'll say, Reality. I don't disagree with you in terms of the fans that are at the Garden. The majority of them are not your there definitely are some, but they're not your diehard Knicks fans. A lot of times it'll be tourists or it'll be stockbrokers,
right? Rich people,
right? Because tickets are so much, and it's a tourist area, right? The Garden to see the Knicks. So, but in terms of like a diehard fan base, I think the Knicks are right there with any franchise in the NBA. I think their fans are diehard. But in terms of at the arena, you might have something there.
It's kind of like the Cowboy fans and Yankee fans. I think same thing. Now they have the new stadium, like the old stadium, different story. This stadium, it's completely different.
What did you think of the throwing the things on the field in the?
I put them on Twitter. I'm like, grow up. I mean, like, we just freaking won a game. Stop being classless idiots. And they're like, oh, the guy climbed the wall. I don't care if he climbed the wall. Yeah. You don't throw stuff at him. You just won the game. Be happy you won the game. But
I'm with you on that.
It's a couple of idiots just chucking stuff. It happens. And,
not that it should represent the whole fan base, but it just didn't look good.
No, it looked terrible. It really did. Reality, thank you, brother. Appreciate it again. He says, I'm a Knicks fan, but I couldn't care less. Thibs is a joke. Randall's overpaid. Barrett is a bust. Should have taken Darius Garland. Being a New York basketball fan is depressing.
I'm going to disagree about Barrett. I'm going to disagree about Barrett. Randall, I want him off the team. And I know Barrett's efficiency went down this year, but he was asked to do a lot more. And I think he grew a lot more confidence. And I think he looked He looked more within the flow of the game. So I think Barrett matured and grew as a player this year. So I still like Barrett. I like Barrett a lot, but we need a lot more talent on this team though. But I'm a fan of Barrett.
Real quick. So obviously, I stream all the Laker games, but I am a Knicks fan, which confuses some people. But what about what would you think about the Knicks sending Randall to the Lakers? Because I've talked about this because the Lakers obviously Westbrook is no good. Westbrook don't fit. Westbrook getting paid $1 trillion. But Westbrook's contract is going to expire. Randall just signed one. Would it make sense to ship Randall to Los Angeles and saddle them with the contract and take Russ's contract down for 1 year so you can get rid of them both in the next season? Westbrook could never survive in New York. I'm going to tell you that.
I don't like Westbrook.
So I don't like him either. But
yeah, I mean, if it meant, I don't know if it would mean that there's a less of a commitment in terms of, like you said, if we could get out of the contract quicker, maybe it makes sense that way. But it's the only reason. Yeah, the thing I would worry about with Westbrook, I think it makes sense from a Lakers standpoint. I think Randall would actually be a great fit with LeBron. He's a guy that could kind of stand in the corner like Kevin Love did, right? Chris Bosh did. But from a Knicks standpoint, the thing I worry about with bringing in a guy like Russell Westbrook, you have a team with a lot of young players that you want to further develop, right? You got RJ Barrett, you got Emmanuel Quickly, you got Obi Toppin,
Mitchell Robinson,
and Russell Westbrook to me is not a guy that's going to look to make them better. He's a guy that's going to go out and get his. He's a ball dominant player. So I would worry about the future development on the young players on this roster with a scenario like that.
It was just a thought there. Reality Stone, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, not Chris. Under 30, no one is a Knicks fan. I'm 29. All of my friends growing up were Heat, Lakers, and Warriors fans. Most Knicks fans are older. I'm older.
Yeah, I'm sure that's true. I mean, reality. I'll say this. I think not just Knicks, just basketball in general. I think it was always a player league because it's so driven by the individual, right? Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. But I think even more so now, like I agree with you. There's at least equal amount of player fans as to team fans, which I can't stand. I've always been a team fan. I'm not a player guy, even in basketball. So
every sport, I think, is player fans.
I have my players I like to watch. Like I think Luka Doncic is really fun to watch.
I love watching Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell's really fun to watch.
But Giannis.
Yeah, really fun to watch. But
Darius Garland's another. I love watching him play, man. And Brandon Ingram is underrated as hell. He's so good. Brandon Ingram's a really good player.
Lillard, I love watching. But I'm always going to be a team guy. And but I agree with that statement. More so in that sport than any other. It's more about being player fans than team fans.
Jeffrey, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says the Nets have become the laughing stock of sports. Not yet. The Giants are up there.
No, Jets are up there. I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't say that. But they had an underwhelming season. That's for damn sure.
Reality, thank you, brother. Appreciate it, my man. He says there's no building piece for the Knicks. It's kind of like the Giants, unfortunately. RJ shooting 40% for the field and 34 from three. Darius Garland averaging 22 and 47%. We don't know how to draft or develop. The Knicks have missed some picks in their time.
I still believe in Barrett, though, reality, and we'll see. I think Barrett's going to be good. I like Barrett, but the rest of the team, I think Quickly showed some growth there the last 2 months. And I think Toppin obviously showed some growth too when he got an opportunity. So we'll see how those guys mature next year. I do like some of the young pieces, but the Knicks are still far off. I agree with you there.
All right. How about we do this the last half hour? By the way, guys, thank you for being here. 530 people in the house. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up, helps out the stream huge. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, ring the bell. More importantly, make sure you go into the description, subscribe to Entertainment Talking Sports if you haven't. I don't know anybody in here that hasn't, but if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to him. We'll be over on his channel tomorrow doing this same show. We're going to be doing this all week. We're going to be doing the draft. We're covering the draft. We're going to have a lot of fun this entire week, and it'll be on both channels alternating. So make sure you guys and girls subscribe to both channels, and thank you for being here. Reality Stone, we're going to get to this. Then we're going to do a mock draft. We're going to do one mock draft before we end it here.
We'll let the chat decide what type of mock you want us to do, like in terms of just Giants, every team in the first round. Like, what do we'll let you guys.
We're not gonna do every team 7 round. We'll be here all day.
Yeah.
But if you want us to do like an overall, just a first round, we'll do that. Or if you want us to do the Giants 6th round, we'll do that. Reality Stone, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. We took Obi instead of Tyrese Halliburton. Like, we don't know how to draft. We're a joke. Like, I'm a Knicks fan for life, but I'm sick of this man.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. And I like Toppin. I like the pick when we made it, but I'll agree with you on that. Tyrese Halliburton.
That's why we've been there for 20 years here.
Halliburton would have been a much better pick. We needed a point guard. So I'll agree with you on that.
It's insane, but he's right. It's kind of like the Yankees can buy their way out of it, but the Yankees don't draft anybody or develop anybody either, which is another thing that pisses me off. Book Josh, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, I'm a dire Knicks fan, but it's true. New York basketball is depressing. I'm ready for Giants football in the draft.
Yeah, man. Let's go, Buck. Let's go, man. Thank you for popping in, buddy.
Mr. Lopez, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, brother. Which tight end do you prefer in the draft? It depends on when we would take one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch. I mean, here's what I'll say.
Maybe is like the
Kate Otten's, yeah, he's been a popular name. The Giants brought him in. Ruckert's another one. That's kind of in that 4 or 5 round area. I don't want to take a tight end before that 81st pick personally. That second, third round pick, maybe the 4 to 5 round range. And I'll say the type of tight end I want more of a well-rounded tight end. I don't really want a guy, similar to a guy like Evan Ingram. I want more of a well-rounded tight end. That's my preference.
Right. Where was I going to go here? I saw one more. I got it right there. Pencil Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. He says, G-Men, better hit with the draft. The price you have to pay for elite players take up to 30% of your cap. Hit on those 5-year deals. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. All righty. Let's do this. Hope you guys can see that's as big as I can make it on the screen here. What do you guys want us to do? Do you guys want us to do just the first round for every team, or do you want us to do the Giants 6 rounds? What do you guys want us to do? Giants draft at a first round.
Yeah, we'll let you guys decide. We'll see who gets more picks here. Yep. Corey says, what is the worst possible situation that can happen for the Giants during the draft? 2 tackles going in the top 4, maybe. Maybe.
See a lot of Giants, and I see a couple of first rounds.
I think most have the. It's
pretty even.
It's pretty even.
It's pretty even
because you're gonna have some people that aren't Giants fans in here either. Word says first round.
Yeah, I see a lot of Giants.
You know what? We'll do whatever we do today. We'll do the other tomorrow.
Right. All right. Let's do I saw your dad said Giants for Miss Santa Tennessee, and there's a lot of Giants. But yes, tomorrow we'll do the because we're gonna do this every day this week. So yeah. And maybe Thursday we'll just do that's what we'll do the whole show. It's just drafts. Well, the Eagles draft, the first round, whatever. Yeah. But we'll do the Giants today. We'll do the first round tomorrow. Let's do that. Yeah, all righty. So let me bring this up. I'm going to pick the Giants. I'll go 7 rounds just in case we trade. Do this. Let me bring this up on my phone so I can see the comments. How do you want to do this, Chris?
What do you mean? We'll discuss it. We'll discuss what we think about each pick. We'll let the chat get involved too. See what they're interested in.
Let me bring this up here.
What I will say is if it's completely unrealistic, the first 4 picks, just redo it. I want it to be semi-realistic.
I got you. All right. Let's do this. So let's start. And what do we got? We had Hutchinson, Gardner, Thibodeau, and Stingley go to the Jets. So there's our 3 tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but I suppose it's semi-possible.
You want me to start it again?
I mean, let the chat decide. I don't think that's off the wall crazy. Let the chat decide. I don't think it'll happen, but it's the draft. Things happen, so.
Yeah, you never know.
In this spot, though, actually, as crazy as this sounds, Baddog, if we're not trading down, which we won't do in this mock draft, if we're not trading down, I'm actually going to wait until pick 7 to take my tackle.
Okay, so
because there's all 3 available.
Yep.
So, I like Neil and Icky pretty close. So I think I go defense actually with the first pick.
What about Trayvon Walker is there?
You got Thibodeau's gone, right?
Thibodeau's gone. So the got Kyle Hamilton, got Karlaftis, and you got Trayvon Walker. Those are the best.
I mean, in this spot, I think if you're going defense, which I would here, I would go. Which again, I don't think this situation is going to present itself on draft night. I would. I know people aren't going to want to hear it if I'm not trading down.
Right.
To me, it's between Walker and Hamilton because both corners are gone. I think Walker presents the most upside of the edge rushers left after the top two.
Yep.
I think I would go Walker. I know Giants fans don't want to hear that, but
Yeah.
that's where I think I'd be leaning with that pick.
Right. And again, in this situation, and this is why you do all these mock drafts, because in this situation, what are you going to do? You know, it's not like we want to take Trayvon Walker, but if this is a situation that presented itself where all three of your tackles are there, you're going to get the choice of two of them. And there's a lot of talk about Trayvon Walker being the first overall pick. And while he's not my pick in this situation, I would agree. So we're going to take Trayvon Walker here at 5.
And now you're going to get either Icky or Neil. Neil went, so we'll take Icky.
We'll take Icky. I think that'd be pretty consensus. All right. Now it gets interesting.
So now you got, I mean, that's a pretty good top two. I mean, you got Icky and you got Walker.
Yep.
You filled your right tackle. You got a guy that could potentially shift to the guard if need be in the future.
Yep.
And now in the second round, yeah, I think you're looking BPA here. And we won't just go by their rankings, but right off the bat, I mean, I'm looking at Petre is a guy that I really like in the second round. You brought up, I don't even know how to pronounce the guy's name, the edge rusher from PennAte.
But we took the edge rusher.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We already took the edge rusher. Yeah, so we're not looking at him.
You got Jaquan Brisker. He's a pretty good safety. So
who's the corners?
Jalen Petrie is a corner.
He's more. I think he's a safety though. I think he's more of a safety at the pro level.
Okay, so the next corner.
Yeah,
you got to go way down.
Yeah,
Kyler Gordon.
Yeah. What does the chat thinks? What corners or wide receivers are there? I think you're going Petre here. If I had to guess.
I see a lot of. I'm looking at here. I see a lot of Petres.
You could go Pickens. I've seen a lot of people talk about Pickens too. The Georgia.
The only thing I'll say about Pickens that worries me is he's a head case, man.
Yeah,
he's a little crazy.
I think I'd go Petre. I think Petre, from everything I've read, people feel is a really good fit for our defensive scheme. He's capable of playing all over, slot, outside, safety. So, I think he's a really good fit, and it fills an immediate need of ours. So I think that's a good pick.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take Petre. He seemed to be the thing. I see Quay Walker a couple times. Quay Walker's a really good player. Someone says Kenny Green. Kenny Green's gone by this point. So, all right. Petre would be our guy here.
It's either Brisker. I actually had Brisker in my mock that I did the 6th round. I like both of those guys, but Petre seems to be a better fit for our scheme.
Okay. So we'll take Petre here. And all right. So now at 67, Brian Asamoah is pretty good. We could use a linebacker.
You know about him.
He's pretty good linebacker.
Who's your interior linemen that are left?
We got Dylan Parham.
Yeah, he's a decent pick there.
He
could play some center and guard. What else do we got? Let's scroll down a bit.
We got Carson Strong. No, I'm just kidding. We just took a safety, so Brian Cook, I wouldn't.
What about wide receiver?
Let's see. Tolbert, Kyle Phillips.
Alec Pierce. I like him. I might go Pierce here. I know based off their rankings, they don't love him, but I think he's being a little bit underrated by some of these mock drafts. I like Alec Pierce from Cincinnati.
Do you think Pierce would fall to 81?
He might in this simulation. He might. Tight end too, by the way. Let's take a quick look at tight end.
Yeah, it's probably going to be. I think they're all going to be there at this point. That's not what I wanted to do.
Jelani Woods. He's a guy that not yet, but he's a guy we could target in the 4th.
Ruckert, Auden, they're all.
We'll wait on them.
There. I see Joseph or Pierce. I see Phillips.
Let's see the guards.
Yeah, I like. I was gonna say I like Parham there.
Yeah, you know what? I'd be happy either way. Let's go Parham. Why not? I mean, to me, it's either Pierce or Parham. I like Parham as well. So I had him in my 6th round mock too. So I like Parham. Let's go Parham.
All right, and that's right at they ranked him 67. Then that's where we're picking. So let's go Parham there.
And he can play multiple positions. I like that. I like that pick.
All right, now let's look at why is Asamoah again? This is just a simulation. I don't know why Asamoah keeps dropping.
Yeah, Pierce is gone.
He is gone.
Yeah.
Um, well, now what do we do?
I mean, at this point, just look at everybody. I mean, I don't even care if we double up at a position if you really like somebody here.
Right.
Let's see.
I mean, as we didn't take a linebacker, we could definitely use one.
We could, yeah, we could definitely use a linebacker.
I certainly wouldn't. If Brian Asamoah fell to 81 and they took him there, I certainly would not be. A lot of people are saying James Cook here.
Yeah, we've done a lot of. I could see it. Yeah, go to running back. We've done a lot of research
because he's probably not going to get to. He's not going to get to 112.
We've done, I think, out of our top 30 visits, 5 of them were running backs. So I think we are going to take a running back in probably the 3 to 4 round area. So even though, like you said, based off the simulation, it may be a little bit early, and I'm not in love with taking a running back this early. It's a mock. You're doing what you think the Giants could do. So
right.
I could see James Cook at 81. I think it's a strong possibility.
All right, let's take. I saw a lot of Cook in the. I see Pierce. Some guys saying Damian Pierce.
Take Cook. I think he's definitely a possibility at 81.
Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to draft him. Draft James Cook. At 112, are we looking tight end here, maybe?
Yeah, tight end. I think you're definitely considering here. Wide receiver.
We took a guard.
Another lineman. I think everything's up.
I was gonna say we took a lineman here, but I really like Marquise. Of course, I'm a Sooner fan, so I mean, But if Marquise, like if the Giants don't address the guard early on, and Marquise Hayes is there in the 4th round, I don't think that'd be a bad pick. But
yeah, I think you're just trying to find the best players you can. But let's see the tight ends.
All right.
Otten's a guy we've done a ton of research on. I could see him being the pick here in the 4th. Kind of a well-rounded tight end. I could definitely see that being the pick. What's wide receiver?
Wide receiver is Phillips, and I think he's more of a slot guy.
I like Austin. I probably prefer him in the 5th though, as opposed to the 4th if he gets there.
Justin Ross had so much talent, man, before he got hurt. He really fell down. And not to mention, he totally alligator armed a pass. He did not try at all for it. It made him look really bad, but that guy really fell off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was projected to be one of the best wide receivers.
He was.
I think let me see the defensive players again.
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning tight end. What I think they would do here, but
let me go defense. Well, we got linebacker,
I guess edge, linebacker,
edge, and defensive interior.
Oh yeah, good call. Defensive interior certainly could.
Yeah.
I like JoJo Doman, but not this early.
Yeah, I see somebody just put JoJo Doman.
Yeah, that was a guy I had mocked in the.
Your dad said Melton's a very good speed receiver. Jack Beck said you like Bo Melton, but you might be able to get him in the next round. A lot of guys are saying like Bo Melton out of Rutgers.
Yeah, well, he's a hometown guy, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think he's a 4th round pick. Go with the tight end. I think we'll go with the tight end here. I think that's
okay.
Pretty likely.
So that is Auden, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Take Kate Otten there. And at 147. There's Doman right there.
Yeah, he's definitely a possibility here. He's a coverage linebacker. May just be a special teams contributor at the NFL level, but 5th round. So, but he's definitely an interesting prospect. I like him in this area.
Yeah.
Let's see. We haven't taken a wide receiver, have we?
No, I don't believe we have yet.
And of course, my guy's off. The guy from Notre Dame.
Bo Melton's still there.
Yeah, could take him and we did. I think we did go to his pro day, so there's some interest there. Could take him. I mean, who's the first guy we were looking at? I forget.
Oh God, I forget too. What the hell were we taking?
I guess all right.
Yeah. I kind of well, I wouldn't take him here, but Tyquan Thornton's a guy out of Baylor. That's not. Although I'm not big on Big 12 receivers, but late in the draft, I don't think that would be. I wouldn't take him here, but I'm saying maybe.
Oh, Doman was the guy we were talking about.
Yes, yep.
Um,
We haven't drafted a linebacker.
I don't mind. I like Doman. Take Doman. I like Doman. He's a good coverage linebacker.
All right, let's take the Doe Man.
Take him.
The Doe Man.
Let's see if we can go. Let's see if we go wide receiver here in the in this round. Take a flyer on somebody. And Melton's gone, of course, who everybody wanted.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
like one Thornton, he's gone too.
Yeah. Is this our last pick? No, we got
one more.
One more after this.
Yep.
All right, just go to BPA. Go, everybody, not just receivers.
All right. BPA is
another set. I mean, you could definitely go another interior offensive lineman here. I could definitely see that. Could double up on the tight end. Wouldn't be shocked with that either.
Yeah, Wilkie said, I saw Charleston Rambo, but I think he would fall back. Obviously, I think Rambo benefited from being on Oklahoma. I don't know what he did with Miami last year, but
D tackle's a possibility here too. By the way, like that's definitely a need of ours.
Yeah, so we got those guys.
I don't know much about it. I know the double O guy's huge on UCLA. I know that, but I don't know how good of a prospect he is, but he's huge.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat knows something about these DTs, but I could certainly see the Giants considering that here with this pick too. Guard, center, interior defensive line, wide receiver.
Mark says take the punter. Your dad says we need more picks. I know. Boltstein says can't go wrong with a guard this late. Somebody says Garrett's a beast. Haskell Garrett.
Haskell Garrett.
A lot of guys like Ellis. A lot of guys like Noah Ellis from Idaho. I see a couple of those guys.
I take one of those guys. And then maybe we go with a guard and a flyer or a flyer at wide receiver with our last pick.
All right. Who we got in the chat? Ellis or Garrett? And I saw Jeffrey say where's Smoke Monday is like rated really like when I did a mock draft, I took Smoke Monday in the 6th round just because I was like, I like Smoke Monday, but I wouldn't take him in the 6th round. But I'm like, I just want to see what we get graded. It was an F. So that was an F. The overall draft was still an A-, but that was an F.
Sounds like most guys say Ellis.
Ellis, okay.
Yeah, let's go.
A lot of guys like a Tito too. Oh, Tito. Let's go Ellis. All right. And our last pick.
I think you throw another lineman on there at this point. I mean, unless there's a wide receiver, somebody who thinks we're taking a flyer on, but I think we could use more depth on the interior.
Here, wide receiver. Oh, yeah. There's Charleston Rambo still there, which I kind of figured. And I know Jeffrey said Smoke Monday, but Smoke Monday, he'll be there. Yeah, he's way down there at the bottom.
So, and we already took a safety.
We did, but I'm just saying that's where Smoke Monday is.
Yeah, could take him. I mean, at this point, I just think you're taking the best player you can.
Which is probably Joshua Williams at this point. It's a center. We could definitely use a center.
Yeah, go with one of the interior linemen. I think that's what I could see them doing here.
All right, which one of these? It's UNC Pembroke. So that's really take wide receiver. Guys are taking take the punter.
Could take a punter here.
Oops. Special teams. Where's that? Yeah, I mean we could take them. You guys want to take the punter?
I'm completely fine with taking a raise in the 6th round.
You guys want to take the punter in the 6th round? I see there. They love it. Let's do it.
He's a legit. I don't think he'll be there, but I would be completely fine with taking him.
Let's take him.
He's a weapon, that guy. He's good.
Easy does it. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I really appreciate it. He says, I can see the Giants going something unexpected with the 5th pick, and I definitely see them trading the 7th. You heard it here first. Hey, if the Giants can get something big for the 7th,
we're going to do the last day. We'll do all those scenarios. We'll do the trade down scenarios, everything on Thursday. We'll do all the scenarios.
So we got a B.
Yeah, I mean, they gave us an F because we took a punter.
Whatever. Yes. They did not like the Noah Ellis pick.
I don't think you could argue our first 3 picks. And obviously everybody has their own preferences, but you got Ike Ekwonu, who is arguably the best tackle in this draft.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker, who is a pretty much consensus top 3 edge rusher at this point by most people's standards. You got Petrie, I think, is a great fit. Parham's a versatile interior offensive lineman, can play both the center and the guard. James Cook, good running back prospect.
It's a C- because of where they rank him.
Yeah,
they rank him at 112, but I will be shocked if he gets into the 4th round.
Now, what I will say is this scenario I don't really see playing out. I don't think 2 cornerbacks are going to go in the top 2.
Me neither.
Maybe 1, but I don't think 2. And I'd be moderately surprised, not shocked, but moderately surprised if all 3 tackles got to us at 5.
I would be too.
But this is not a horrible scenario on draft night.
Right. No, definitely not. And yeah, they get it doesn't matter when we took a punter. They're going to they would definitely give us an F for taking a punter. There's no doubt about it. But as we do this more over the week, we'll maybe like we said, tomorrow we'll do the overall first round. With the draft, we'll do the whole first round, but then, maybe as we progress during a week, we'll do some with trades and stuff and look at some trades, because trade offers do come in for this stuff. Or sure. Taco Nacho says A plus because of the punter.
Taco loves his special teams play.
Yeah. So did Chris Senior. Where's Chris Senior at?
Senior loves the punters.
He loves the punters. Loves them. Absolutely loves them. It's amazing. Uni, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I've been going to the draft since I live in Vegas. It should be a lot of fun. Chris, how about the Mets?
Let's go. Uni, enjoy yourself. And yeah, man, 12-5, dude. Let's I think, and we should win today. We got Max on the hill, so we should be 13-5. Let's hope he does the job.
Yeah. Yankees get a day off after a sweep. It's nice to actually sweep some. How the hell the Yankees lose 2 out of 3 to the Orioles? I can't figure that one out. We have our chance to get revenge on them. We played them too.
You'll sweep them next time you play them, probably.
That starts this week. Tomorrow.
You'll sweep. The Orioles aren't very good. That was a fluke. By the way, what do you?
Well, we only scored 6 runs in that series.
What do you think of Buck Showalter as a manager? Because obviously you had him with the Yankees for a bit.
Listen, I don't know why Buck got such a bad rap. And everywhere he's gone, they've improved. Like right after he left, he brought the Yankees were horrible in 92. He took over it and they immediately got better. 93, they finished in second. 94, they had the best record in baseball before the strike, or best record in the American League. The Expos had the best record in baseball. And then in 95, they got off to a really bad start and they really exploded at the end. And then, of course, they blew the 2-0 lead on the Mariners, which maybe that's why he got fired. But I think Buck is good. I think old school baseball still works. And I don't think Buck is an analytical guy. I think Buck gets the most out of his players. He's probably a tough love guy. He seems like he's a little, tough-nosed, hard-edged guy, but his players respond to him when they play well. And I think it's perfect. I think that you got a good mix of a young, vibrant, front office, and then you got the old school manager. I think it works out perfect.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of split from within the Mets fan base on Buck. And there's always gonna be.
Yeah.
I like him. I think it was a good get by the Mets, because it's been a long time since the Mets have had like a proven manager. Not that he's won, but like you said, you look back to the Orioles. He had 5 straight seasons where he was 500 or better. The Yankees did a good job. Like, give him Derek Jeter, right, and give him Mariano Rivera when he hit his stride, and give him Tino Martinez. And he might have won a World Series too. So I'm happy with Buck so far. I know sometimes he does questionable things, but so far I'm happy with him, and I'm excited to see where the Mets go. I see Taco say, Chris, can you tell me more on Jermaine Johnson? Don't know much about him. I mean, Jermaine Johnson was a transfer. He had, I think it was like 13 sacks last year. He had a really good year at Florida State. But the thing that worries me about him just a little bit, and why I would be a little worried, not worried, but why I wouldn't be necessarily in love if we took him in the top 7. When you look at his numbers in terms of how he was able to generate pressure, a lot of them are, at least based off the seconds it took to get there, seem to be coverage sacks. He did, the majority of his sacks came 3 seconds or later. And when you look at Aiden Hutchinson, almost all of them fell between 2.1 and 2.5. So that's what worries me a little bit about him, is are his sack numbers a little bit skewed. He didn't, when you compare him to the other top edge rushers in this class, the majority of his pressures came later. They came, in the 3-second or beyond variety. So when I saw that stat, it worried me a little bit about him.
Yeah. Little Leonard Williams-esque.
Yeah.
Joseph, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. He says, I'd take that draft in a heartbeat. Well, that's why they're fun. Like I said, when I can tell you this, I've done a few mock drafts. That was the first time I saw two corners go in the top 5. I did not see that scenario at all. Did not see that.
It's not. I'd be anything could happen. I'd be very surprised if it did.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if it did too.
But everything outside of that was very realistic, and I could see a scenario where, no tackles go in the top 4. I actually think best case scenario is one tackle goes in the top 4 because that means
and Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens on draft night. But yeah, I think I think we agree with this, and I think most of the people in the chat agree with this. Even though I'm a big proponent of taking a tackle at 5, if all 3 get there, I think then you wait till 7 to take your tackle.
Yeah, because you're gonna have an opportunity to get one of the best tackles out there regardless. That defensive player may not get to you at 7, depending on what Carolina does. Or like you said, maybe somebody trades up with Carolina and gets like you said, if the lineman, if Thibodeau falls down to 5 and there's linemen there, you're not going to pass on Thibodeau because you're going to get a lineman at 7, and Thibodeau is not going to get to you at 7. So same thing. Probably, well, maybe like you said, maybe with Sauce it'd be different because Carolina probably is not going to take Sauce Gardner. But then again, somebody may trade up and go, okay, we got a chance to get him. I don't know. It'll be it'll be fun doing the first round pick too, because like doing the first round mock, because it'll be interesting to see what we do for other teams or what we think they'll do.
Yeah,
I did get one. I remember last year I did we did it, and I said that with the Jags 25th pick, they should take Travis Etienne, which is exactly what they did. I remember that one. I was like, oh, I got one right down the street. And of course, he got hurt immediately, that's something a lot of people probably forgot about is that.
And they wanted Toney too. The word came out, who is kind of a similar player to Etienne, even though they're different positions. They're kind of a similar type of player. But yeah, you called that one Etienne.
But Travis Etienne also played with Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, so you're going to get him back, and he's a very versatile running back, and I think that'll help Jacksonville out a lot too. The best thing that Jacksonville did was getting rid of Urban Meyer. I knew that was going to be a wreck from the beginning, and thank God that saved Trevor Lawrence's career. That they got rid of that guy is a disaster. Pistol Pete, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. With the 5th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Giants select punter Matt Araiza.
Pete, I listen. I would love I'm all for improving the punter spot, but not there.
Yeah, I agree. I think he meant with the 5th pick in the 6th round, maybe.
Yeah, he is a weapon though. There's no doubt about it. He's not your typical punter. He's good. He's really good.
Yeah. Well, that's why in PFF decided to give us an F for that.
Hey, listen, they give us an F all they want. I'd be okay with taking a raise in
just for that pick. The draft was a B. But yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of people like this draft, and I certainly wouldn't have any problems with this particular scenario at all. Like I said, Trayvon Walker is not the guy that we were looking at there, but in that scenario where both corners are gone and Hutchinson and Thibodeau are gone, what are you going to do? You're going to take the best because we need an edge, and Walker's not getting there at 7, and it wouldn't matter. It's going to be the same exact thing. If that's the way it played out, we ended up with Walker and Aquanu, I'm not going to be crying in my beer.
Yeah.
Brandon, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Trade 5 to the Saints. Teams will jump the Panthers, I think. We'll see. We're doing this all week, so we'll definitely do some with trade scenarios and stuff.
I mean, what's the scenario, Brandon, that you would what do they have, 16 and 19 now, the Saints?
Yeah.
So the Saints don't have a future first, so you're not going to get that because they traded it with the Eagles. Would I trade 5 for 16 and 19?
Did have to throw something else in there too.
I think I would need more than that. People hear 2 first-round picks for 1, but that's a big drop. There's a big difference between who you're going to get at 5 and who you're going to get at 16. Mm-hmm. So I don't think I would do it for just 16 and 19. And again, it depends on who's there. If I love the player, for me, the biggest attraction to trade down is to get a future first-round pick. Mm-hmm. To create insurance for Daniel Jones. If I'm not getting that, if I really like a player where I'm picking, I think I'm standing pat.
Yeah. I gotta agree with that. It's 16 and 19 is a big fall off. There's no doubt about that. So I don't know. But guys and girls, we've come to the end of day 1, a countdown to the draft. It is 1:00. I want to thank you guys and girls for hanging out with us today. It was an awesome crowd as always. Really appreciate it. one last time, make sure you guys subscribe and ring the bell. We'll be doing this all week, but make sure you go into the description, subscribe to the Entertainment Target Sports, because tomorrow at 11 o'clock, it's on his channel. We'll discuss more trade rumors and, draft rumors and all that stuff. We'll talk more about the draft, and we'll do an entire first round mock draft for every team. And hopefully you guys and girls will be here too. This is always fun, man. 2 hours flies by talking about, the draft and everything else. But I'm excited, Chris. I'm ready for draft week. I'm ready for the draft night. And this is awesome, man. I'm glad I got the week off. I'm glad I get to do this with you this week. And the best supporters and subscribers on YouTube, as always.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the draft. Can't wait for tomorrow. Hopefully there's more to talk about. Maybe there'll be more draft rumors regarding the New York Giants. Maybe we'll hear some things about camp, so on and so forth. It's always fun to talk about the Giants, and right now is kind of the hot time of the offseason. We got 3 more days leading up into the draft, and then, I'll probably spend about a week or two recapping the draft, talking about the undrafted free agents, the guys that we brought in, and it's going to be fun to find out what the New York Giants roster is going to look like, and we'll start to get our answers on Thursday when they take a tackle and an edge, which is what most Giant fans want.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens. Looking forward to doing a couple more mocks with you tomorrow. Thank you to everybody for being here. And let's go Giants.
All right. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. And let's see you tomorrow for Tuesday for the Entertainment Target Sports, the Bad Diggy Dizzle. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And we are gone.